live here with another real news corner. Not quarantine coronavirus, whatever the fuck we're calling it now. Oh man, it's been a wild week, as you can see in the title. LOOMER wins, Bannon arrested, Leafy banned, Proud Boys are back. It's jam packed for sure. And we're 73 or 72 days out from the election. And we'll be covering the DNC convention, that whole cringe show and everything related to that. But most important news story that is not being talked about enough. I don't even know if Fox News even covered it. Laura Loomer won her primary in Florida. Absolutely huge and frankly historic, because she is just a journalist and an e-celeb Twitter personality. And I'm not saying that to like diminish her or anything. Like, she's fantastic, but like, she has no political experience. She has no like, super big money like Trump did, and knew all these like rich super big people and could get into it easily. Like, this is a total grassroots operation built on the fame she got from the internet, and also the people she's met along the way and the voters she's met. But super amazing victory for her. With a great victory part of Milo Yiannopoulos opening for her, and Gavin McInnes and Roger Stone. Jacob Wohl was there, CJ Pearson. All the cool people were all there. So honestly, it was pretty inspiring and pretty fantastic. So
I think it
love
is.
it.
I think it is. You have like, so you it's really nice to have like Laura Loomer pulling on top, because it's just another one of these um another one of these people that are getting into politics that really weren't politics first kind of people. Like, you saw
Yes.
Laura Loomer, you got Laura Loomer. She was a journalist, that was like her specialty before getting into politics. You had Donald Trump. He was obviously he's a real estate mogul before uh getting into politics. And even you look at the Democrat side, you had AOC was a bartender before getting into politics. And then you
Yeah.
got Elon Omar. You got Elon Omar, who was a terrorist before getting into politics. So look, it's already,
Very
it's very
fucking demonetized for that. Holy fuck.
yeah, but
That was not very kosher.
uh, you know
but
I
but
mean, she
she
was married
was.
to her brother before.
I was gonna
Allegedly.
say, so that is not even slanderous. That probably has some grains of truth to it.
hmm
I don't know about the terrorist part, but
it's comedy. There is comedy in
Phil,
this
don't you
freaking
know
podcast,
comedy's not
people.
allowed on the internet anymore?
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Because I mean,
Yeah.
if Trevor Noah and Amy Schumer are allowed on YouTube, but we aren't, like, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah. And we were actually before you hopped on, Phil, Alex and I were talking about this. All, like in 2016, we had this like peak like cultural revolution, not just in the streets but on the internet.
hmm
And you had all these fun people like Loomer, Milo, Gavin, Roger Stone, Alex Jones. Did I say yeah? All these cool people, Jacob Wohl, like, oh, so many people. They're all gone. Now the internet's boring and stale and just filled with boring people. Like, frankly, Ben Shapiro is boring as shit. I'm sorry. Um, you know,
fucking Crowder, man. I mean, I don't like that dude that much. Like, he can be funny at times, but like, man, he's fucking like stale.
Yeah, he's cleaned up. Well, I mean, he's kind of
he's safer
lost his
now.
edge. He's definitely safer. Definitely safer.
I will give him props. He just did a video with Alex Jones where they were walking down the streets of
Mhm.
Austin, I believe. So, I mean, he gets credit where credit's due on some things for sure. But I find myself not tuning into him. Like, I haven't tuned into him in a long time. But maybe that's just my taste. I don't know. But it's
He's
it,
like the fucking college Republicans if they like made a fucking comedy show. Like, he does not feel edgy at all. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like all the fucking fun people, they're not. He doesn't associate with them for the most part, with the
I
recent
mean,
exception of Alex Jones.
yeah. I mean, he used to be like, used to have, he used to have, you know, like he'd have Alex Jones, he'd have Anthony Cumia, he'd have like all these like really like edgy guys or edgy people, and then like, you know, he just does the safe thing, you know, he does the, you know, the Hodge twins, he
Mm.
does, you
And
know,
they're
the
great, but
and they're
they're,
great,
you know,
but you know, they've got their own safe and look, even the Hodge twins, right? Even the Hodge twins, like if you listen to their earlier work, it was like very like I don't want to say raunchy, but it was pretty edgy. Like
yeah.
their earlier stuff was very edgy, and now they've kind of toned down a bit. Which, I mean, like, let's be fair. Let's be fair about this. A lot of that is, you know, they've got investors within their certain company, like you have Ben Shapiro, you know, with, you know, Steven Crowder. He's on Blaze TV now. I'm pretty sure that, you know, Glenn Beck kind of limits limits him within reason, you know, and
He wasn't even that. I mean, he wasn't even that edgy beforehand, though. Like he had a little bit of an edge to it, but he was like, you know, you probably run the mill fucking steak knife where, you know, like you'd have people like Milo and shit who'd be like, you know, fucking. I
you
don't
know what
know,
I see though?
like,
I see the content being like I see his content being more raunchy as far as like cursing and dirty like toilet jokes and shit like that, but I see it being less edgy in terms of, you know, pushing the envelope, like going
Yes.
out there, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the type of edgy I'm saying. Because it's one
Mhm.
thing to just say provocative shit. Like, that's a style. And if you like that style, you want to do that style, fine. But when I try to differentiate, like, the Ben Shapiro's of the world to the Milos or the Gavins of the world, the Milos and the Gavins are really fun. And they have a sense of humor and a sense of not just like just style overall that connects with people. Like it's like what people actually like. And you know, I'm not saying people don't, you know, don't like Ben Shapiro, but it's like okay, I'm not okay, I'm gonna slog a little bit on my previous organization, Turning Point. Some of Turning Point's memes are a bit cringe and nobody finds funny, but they keep pumping them out. Okay? I mean, let's be real about that. We've all probably found Turning Point meme. We're like, yeah, that's stupid. And people have said that to me a lot of times. Like that yay for 2A one. So I forget some of the other ones. Like, okay, I'm not trying to be a groiper.
Israel or something.
I was gonna say the Israel ones because they're a bit they're just stupid. Like the way they do them. That doesn't. It just shows that they don't get what people like. So it means they're not talking to real people about like and sharing the memes we share, or they'll take like some old meme and like recycle it, and which is fine, but like the way they do it just isn't interesting or anything. But my point being is that like the Miles and the Gavins, they're pushing the envelope, they're pushing comedy, they're doing stuff that's more provocative and interesting, and they share the memes we share. They're in the subs we're in, or well, we used to be. I guess that Donald's band. They're on the chans or something, or the, you know, maybe not always, but they're seeing the shit that we see and sharing it. Like, you know, it's just, there's just sort of like a disconnect.
They don't know what fucking young people like
Yeah.
what they actually like, and that's the thing. And they're afraid, like maybe they do know what they like, and they're afraid to actually say it because we live in a very fucking sanitized world in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you say that you're against Black Lives Matter, like, you know, fuck, good luck. Like, no one's gonna want to, you know, deal with that. Like, maybe now it's a little bit different. That couple of days, like, couple of weeks afterwards, but like, especially right after George Floyd's death, if you said that, like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. Well, look at, even to tie back to our topic, Laura Loomer. She, you know, the GOP wouldn't touch her, go near her for the longest time. In fact, she said on an interview with Alex Jones, which I 100% recommend everybody watch as soon as possible. She is on fire in that interview, and her speaking skills are impressive. She has grown so much in her skill stack. But she said that Kevin McCarthy, the I forget what they call his position in the House. It's like second to Speaker.
Weapon.
The majority or minority leader. Sorry, minority leader. He was actively campaigning against her and funding candidates against her. And the GOP didn't do shit for her. And to be fair, I don't think the GOP should pick favorites in a primary. And Ronna McDaniel, the GOP chairwoman, did actually call her after she won and said, like, yeah, you're a rock star. I hope she sticks by that and helps her. But, man, these GOP establishment people, they don't get that people like Loomer. They rejected the establishment. They like somebody that's fun and interesting and that's banned on social media. I mean, that's the amazing thing. She did all this while banned on every major social media platform. And her campaign was banned on every major social media platform. And she won. Unbelievable.
That's what really upsets me is that, like, not only do they ban her, but they banned her campaign.
Yep.
I feel like that needs to be investigated by some sort of oversight committee. Because I feel like, you know, if you want to ban a person, okay. But if they're running for Congress and, like, you know, they had that Supreme Court decision that said Trump can't ban people, like, block people from his Twitter account because that's a public, you know, thing, then how can you say that you can ban campaigns from these platforms?
It's election meddling. It's election it's disrupting an election. Like, it literally is hurting a candidate and helping another. I mean, even when she won her primary, Twitter and Facebook both said they won't reinstate her accounts. She is a Republican nominee in a congressional district, and she can't have her Twitter or Facebook back. That's pretty fucking crazy. Now, if she wins, oh my god. Oh.
If she wins, I bet she's gonna go right the fuck after them for election meddling, and she deserves. You know, she should absolutely, because that's bullshit.
Yeah, you know who you know who these, like, conservatives like Turning Point and the CRs or whatever. They remind me, like, in football terms, they remind me of last year's San Francisco 49ers. They remind me, like, and I say that because this is the like, you know, the 49ers, they were this team that, you know, they were like, offensively they were edgy. They had, you know, they had trick plays, they went after it, you know, they took chances, they took, you know, they had unpredictable plays. And then, like, you know, late into the fourth quarter, they started getting predictable. They started playing it safe. They started, you know, just taking care of the ball versus actually trying to, you know, keep the foot on the pedal to, you know, win the game. And then lo and behold, they let the other team back in the game. And then, you know, Kansas City scores 3 touchdowns in the last 7 minutes of the game to win it. So, like, and why do I use that analogy? It's like, you know, when you think when Turning Point and all these other, like, you know, things were founded, like, you know, with Ben Shapiro and all that, like, you know, they were edgy. They got after you. They challenged you.
Turning Point chapters used to host Milo, and we were directly told you cannot bring him.
know,
and they never gave a reason.
We're less than 100 days away from the election. Look, this is technically the fourth quarter, right?
Did Turning Point make you sign an NDA or anything like that?
No. That's why I'm speaking.
Oh, I'd go completely apeshit on those fuckers.
We should actually make a separate video on it, but continue with your analogy, Phil.
But yeah, so, but this is what I'm saying. Like, this is, like, the election's like less than 100 days away. We are in the fourth, like, this is late in the fourth quarter, right? We have a lot of people that are playing it safe. They're not, you know, they're not pushing the envelope. They're trying to, you know,
not throwing Hail Marys.
Yeah, but that's what happens. Like, if you don't keep your foot on the gas pedal, at the end, you're gonna have like, if you let the other side get back in the game, then you're gonna have to start taking shots downfield and setting yourself up for disaster. And I feel like that's what we're doing, like with Turning Point and with all these other organizations. They're not getting aggressive enough. They're not,
They're not cool. That's the
well, they're
problem.
not. Yeah. I mean, they're not. They haven't really done cool. Like they really haven't done cool shit.
And
So
when we mean they, we mean the national organization. I gotta make that clear distinction, because what does bother me about like some people I see on the internet when they shit on Turning Point, they act like everybody in Turning Point's lame and boring. No, the people, the students, the boots on the ground, the people that are actually putting the hard work in on the campuses, those are your true populist, nationalist, conservative, whatever you want to call it, deplorables, whatever it is. Those are your true heart people. Those are the people with the big hearts.
I'll put something else in too. So Charlie Kirk has his he has his podcast now, I guess.
Does he?
And I think I always think, and it's like if anybody wants to do their podcast, that's fine. I mean, we do one. I mean, we do it for the shits and giggles of it, but I think of him doing that podcast. I'm like, well, it takes a lot. They've put a lot of time and effort into that podcast, and that's time and effort could be time and effort that could be spent elsewhere.
Yes.
Right. Like that could be spent, are those resources that could be spent in other areas? Is that time that could be spent in other areas? Because that sounds safe to me. Like instead of going to schools and doing the tours and stuff like that, you're playing it a bit more safe. You're playing even when he was touring the campuses recently, it's like he really hasn't done too much interaction with the crowds. Like I noticed that like he'll like some of the Q&As would be like off
Staged. They're staged.
Yeah.
Look, I was at them. They vetted questions. They got questions from Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them he was good about, where he would, make sure like people lined up and he answered questions, and you were allowed to have an open mic. But it is very safe. Yeah, and that just annoys me. And I understand it from some angles, but it's too much.
It's conservative.
No,
it's
that
conservative football.
That pissed me off when he did that at the one at Penn State. And I really can't forgive that dude for that, because he called it campus clash. We want to, the whole idea was, hey, we're going to have people from differing viewpoints, talk about it, and we'll shoot them down, but at least he'd still give them the option. Then one guy, he didn't want to go deal with Twitter, and he just tried to go up and ask him. He treated him like he was, doing something terrible. Like, no, he's false advertising.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, flatly said, like in the advertisements, at least it was like, hey, this is gonna be campus clash, but it was all like softball questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised none of the Groyper people brought that clip up when they were challenging Charlie Kirk and quote unquote exposing him, for basically being disingenuous about some things or being hypocritical. And that's the thing. It's like, look, I was a chapter president. I loved our club. I loved what we did. But I run into this in some other areas too that I can talk about another day. Again, when you're the boots on the ground, these people, I guess you could say on the bottom of the totem pole, are the legit people. The further you go up, the more gatekeepery and controlling and safe and it gets. It's really frustrating because look, we had a successful event, probably the most interesting, controversial, and fun speaking event ever at Penn State with Sargon of Akkad. It was a massive success. Lots of people came out, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of press. We had controversy like you'd never seen at that campus, since like Sandusky, which is controversy for a bad reason, of course, but this was for a good cause. But the point being, they told us not to do that. They even told us we shouldn't do that. And we're almost about to say you can't do that. But we were lucky we kind of slipped through the cracks, and they didn't see our request until much later, and we were like, oh, well, we've already got it booked and ready to go. And so they were like, fine, you can do it. It's kind of like they kind of were forced to let it happen in a way, which has happened with speaking events in the past with them, I've heard. Because they vet all the speakers that come, which I understand to some extent, but kind of goes against what they're saying.
Well, I mean, we also played our cards right too. So I mean,
we did, but we also were
kudos to
accidentally
us.
right in some ways.
I mean, I don't know. I think because we did. Look, we did a lot of. I mean, there was a lot of quick decisions that had to be made.
Oh yeah.
But there was also a lot of planning that was made too. Like that planning. A lot of that planning that we did put us in a situation to where when those quick decisions happened, we were able to respond better than if we didn't. Like if we didn't make those plans, like if we didn't make the necessary plans available. And you were a big reason. Look, and this is your hard work and planning set that up. And like I'm not sure, like with like going back to the questions, like the softball questions, that's conservative football. That's running the ball in the fourth quarter to avoid turning the ball over versus actually trying to get the first downs, trying to move the ball and win the game. Like, it's,
and that's how you lose.
Most of the time when people do that, they lose the game. That's how the 49ers lost the Super Bowl. Like they were up 20-10 in the fourth quarter, right? And this is and going back to the political side of things. Look, this is like if you're playing it safe in the fourth quarter with less than 100 days to the election, right? Don't be surprised if Joe Biden ends up winning this election, okay? And none of us want that. Like obviously, none of us want that. Oh, for the love of fuck, nobody wants that. But look, if you don't go out there, if you don't get aggressive, if you don't go out there and vote, could happen. Could happen.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, like, it seems like there are always the people that are taking risks are the people that are winning in the streets here. Like, Turning Point is in many ways a great organization because you have a lot of money, posters, buttons, they can help you with shit. They can send Don Jr. to your campus. Like, they can do a lot of cool shit. But they are hurting their own potential and limiting themselves with all the stuff they do. It's the sort of I'm trying to find a good word for it, because like gatekeeping is such an overused word, and it's not really just that. It's more of it's playing soft, and like I guess soft is a way to put it. Like they're very soft for a lot of things, and they're out of touch, like I said. So you get this shit that nobody cares about. Like when they throw up Benny Johnson or these people, I'm like, who is this guy? Like nobody knows, nobody cares, and they allow people like Benny and Rob Smith, who are leftists apparently, but really aren't. Benny got fired from BuzzFeed for plagiarizing multiple times. It was like 30 or 40 or 50 times, which is insane. One time is one thing, but like 40 sometimes, there's something wrong here. And Rob Smith used to be on CNN bashing Trump. Like, these people aren't for real, and that's my problem. It's like, I just...
They're doing to me, that's like they're doing the same thing that the left is. They went and did the same thing that they're accusing the left of doing. Because it's like you're getting these personalities instead of them being talented. These are like identity politics figures. Like, oh, what makes them so great? Well, this guy was a leftist,
Yeah.
or like with Rob Smith. Oh, this guy's a gay conservative, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
Or like they went into this they went into the identity politics thing, which is a left move, right? That is a move of the left. And instead of going for the talent, instead of going for the Candace Owens, instead of going for these other individuals that are that are putting themselves out there and going after going after leftists at these college campuses and getting more aggressive, like this,
Yeah.
they're
And you
playing it safe,
notice
and they're biting them in the ass.
Candace left. A lot of other
Mhm.
people have left. And the other thing too is that when you want to play identity politics, or let me put it this way, when you want to fight it, if you want to actually fight it, you need to go like the Milo route by trolling them, by being everything that they should be and fucking with them and being the counter to that. And
You're using
with
Milo is
talent.
great at it. What you do, Milo is great at it too. And he trolls. He's great at trolling too. Like he's great. The he's great at it, and you're great at it when you use their energy against them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like like judo and karate, right? They're teaching you how to use somebody's own weight against them or their own momentum against them, whatever. This is literally what Milo does. He takes the energy, the nasty energy from the nasty leftists, and he flips it, he uses it against them. That's what makes it that's what made him so good at these campuses. And it's just like nobody wants a thing to do with Milo because nobody like people are playing it safe. But
And that's the thing.
Well,
It's like you gotta stop this crap, like, and defend your own. Like what Matt Gaetz was saying when he endorsed LOOMER. He said we need to defend our own, especially when they've done nothing wrong. If they've made a little mistake, but they've fixed it, they've rebounded from it, great. Stick together, second chances. But these people that they're afraid to touch have legit done nothing wrong. Like, what has LOOMER done that's wrong? Nothing. Milo, yeah, maybe he said some stuff a little poorly worded, and he may have gotten the wrong idea from it, but he didn't do anything wrong. Okay?
Like with that, he was talking about his own experiences. Like,
mhm.
come on, dude.
And they smeared it as pedophilia, but he never talked about sexual relationships. It was only a relationship in terms of, as he put it, more like a father-like sort of older mentory sort of figure that was lacking in his life. It wasn't
It's
like they were
another one of many.
banging.
I thought he said he got fucked in the ass by a priest or something.
Well, that's a
When he was-
different thing. The thing that got him in trouble was when he said, when people said okay, let me put it this way. The headlines read Milo condones pedophilia, Milo supports pedophilia. But that's not what he said. What he said was some relationships for gay individuals with older men can be beneficial, and he was describing a relationship, not sexual, but I guess you could say blurs the line between friend and romantic, but some sort of relationship with another man that gave him guidance, if that makes sense.
I mean, there's context. Like there's context to be made in that description, like the description he gave. But these are the tactics that the left used. So what you have is the system, and nothing's changed since then. You have these leftists that do these very violent, like not violent, but like they have these very dirty tactics where you know they clip out these clips that are taken way out of grossly out of context,
Well,
and they
and with
use it
him,
against them.
it wasn't the left that was saying that. It
Yeah, that
was
was
the right, the
establishment, right? Yeah.
Fucking,
establishment.
there's a Reagan battalion on fucking Twitter who did that shit.
Yep.
Fuck. Dead president fucking using the name of like a dead president that boomers give a shit about. You know, it's like that fucking Lincoln Project.
Oh, we got a deep dive into that later in the show. But, this is, again, the problem I just keep persistently seeing is this clique of elitist, I don't even want to use the word conservative, but elites that are controlling the right. It's so frustrating because these people are in powerful, high up their positions, and you get them like the Reagan Battalion clip of Milo was. I know Ben Shapiro had some involvement with that, like because he saw Milo's competition, and I don't know specifically how, but I've heard he helped them take Milo out, or try to, I should say. So
yeah. I mean, it's like that's just, it's a shame. Like you're like attacking your allies.
With friends like these, who needs enemies?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a right. Like they constantly do that. If Trump didn't have all these like anti-Trumpers in, like when he first got into office, we could have got some actual good legislation done. We could have repealed and replaced Obamacare, but they didn't want to do it. They did not want to do it. There was a bunch of anti-Trump cuck Republicans, and now it's too late because they lost control of the House.
Yep.
That's
why 2020 is so critical.
Like, you have these Republicans who aren't even Republican. Like, I don't know if we need like stronger like whips in fucking the House, because obviously they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think that like Paul Ryan guy probably had something to do with it. That dude looked fucking soulless, and he was an establishment shill.
He was with Mitt Romney, remember?
Yeah, that piece of shit.
That tells you everything. I want to quickly show these tweets though, and we can maybe dive into that sort of shit because we were discussing that earlier. But this is why I love Trump. He knows LOOMER's victory, and he basically endorsed her. He said, "Great going, Laura. You have a great chance against Pelosi puppet." I mean, and then he just didn't stop. He went on like a tweet storm about her. He tweeted out a National Pulse article that Raheem Kassam tweeted saying Laura Loomer delivers stunning primary victory in Trump's voting district. Tweet out Breitbart article, Laura Loomer claims victory in Florida congressional primary. And then finally, I think this was the last. Oh no, there are two more. Jesus. Majority Taylor Greene for Congress from Georgia said, "Congratulations, Laura Loomer, on her primary win. Now Twitter should reinstate her account at Jack." And has a picture of her. Trump retweeted that. And finally, Trump retweeted a tweet from his favorite Congressman, Matt Gaetz, saying, "Vote Laura Loomer for Congress today." That's why I love people like Matt Gaetz. Like, he endorsed her, stood by her. I mean, just fantastic. Like, need more of him. You need more of her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so it's fantastic. So we were actually, do you want to talk about the band thing real quick, or do you want to go dive deep into the Lincoln Project?
Let's talk about let's go into the Lincoln Project, because
that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, so that fucking group, which is complete astroturf from a bunch of elitist Republicans, is basically trying to go and undermine Trump and any sort of grassroots Republican effort to try and clean house, so that the only people who get into the Republican Party are unelectable pieces of establishment garbage like Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, and who was the old guy?
Kasich? Oh, McCain.
Yeah, like that's the sort of Republican that the Lincoln Project wants. And they go and masquerade with this name, in the name of some like dead Republican president that like most Republicans, agree with. It's like, oh, we're the Reagan Battalion today, we're the fucking Lincoln Project tomorrow. And it's like, who the fuck are you actually? And so we did a little bit of diving into it. You can go and see who's donating to this. It's a bunch of these venture capital firms and our bank capital, which Mitt Romney had a big hand. I think he was
Yeah,
like,
bank capital's on here. When I first saw that, I laughed my ass off. Like, of course.
yeah, it was. I think Mitt Romney owns that company, or he owned, or had a
Like
significant
Bain Capital, yeah, that was one of Mitt Romney's companies that like basically wrecked Massachusetts or something like
like
something along those lines.
it's one of those companies like that's how they go. They'll like buy up companies and then they'll like basically
Yeah,
strip all the assets from them and
yeah,
make them like go bankrupt in a few years. That's like how you
yeah.
see all these like things happen where these like seemingly decent companies end up just like completely going bankrupt in a couple of years.
I'm on their Wikipedia page and can confirm their founder was Bill Bain and Mitt Romney. Imagine if it had Romney's name in it instead of Mr. Bain's.
Yeah, with a name like Bain Capital, you think it'd be like some badass or
Bain.
no, it's like some super cucky like. Well, actually, it is kind of like a super villain company. You know what? Yeah, because they just destroy businesses. Like it is like the capitalism that people complain about. Like when you see socialists complain about capitalism, it's like these sorts of people, you know, running these corporations into the ground and really contributing very little other than to whoever owns them and like their dividends.
Dude, this is crazy. I'm on the investments gallery at the bottom here. This is crazy how how many fingers they have in big companies. They invested in Staples in '86, which I think was another Romney gig in some ways. I forget his like history of that. Sports Authority, they invested in '87. They acquired Guitar Center in 2006. Acquired Hospitable Corporation of America. Acquired Jimboree. Acquired iHeartMedia. Acquired Houghton Mifflin. Acquired DNA Holdings. Acquired Domino's Pizza. Invested in the Weather Channel. Acquired Burger King. Acquired DIC. Acquired Sealy, acquired Brookstone, I'm almost done, acquired Burlington Coat Factory, and acquired Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep. They're those like it's just like shadowy organization that just goes and like buys a bunch of random stuff and basically strips them of all their assets and then like dumps into one company so they end up going bankrupt.
Yep.
That's how these sort of things work. Like I'm pretty sure do they have like a controversy section? Because I'm sure there's a fucking controversy. Like it fucking deserves one unless they had like the fucking Reagan battalion or whoever go and destroy it.
There is a section that says appraisals and critiques. Bain Capital's approach of applying consulting expertise to the companies it invests in became widely copied within the private equity industry. In 2009 book Buyout of America, John Kosman described Bain Capital as notorious for its failure to plow profits back into its businesses, being the first large private equity firm to derive a large fraction of its revenue from corporate dividends and other distributions. I'm trying to find the shit that they were talking about during like the election, because I remember it was under a lot of scrutiny, and like that was a big deal when Romney was running.
Yeah, they're one of the first companies that basically blew up companies to like basically raise the stock prices and then pull it out, like, and then just destroy, leaving a path of just absolute nastiness behind with these companies that they acquire. Now everybody like now they're praised. They're like, oh, this is a model that everybody uses now. It's like, is that a good thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, because I mean, you talk about there's a pharmaceutical company that I'm thinking of that's like that does shit like that too. It's Valiant Pharmaceuticals. That was it.
Yeah.
Like where they bought these pharmaceutical companies, stripped them of their R&D, and jacked up the pills, like jacked up the pill prices to like balloon up their pockets, and then like it's like, wow,
this is the reason why there's so many like shit like this is why so many people are against capitalism. You know, is one of the reasons because they see they think that this is like how the fucking economy should work, and that this is about like typical capitalist behavior. But no, that this is
Crony capitalism.
yeah, this is like capitalism. This is like people abusing the fucking system, and just like they're fucking vampires. They're just sucking the blood out of these like previously healthy companies and just like being complete like leeches of society.
Now, Alex. So what you're saying is you're not really. So what you're saying is you're not really conservative. Is that what
Nah,
you're saying?
I'm against these elitists and their misuse of like the whole idea of this Lincoln Project. You just the name is like, oh there's some sort of like grassroots organization. Oh yeah, that's cool. Lincoln, he was a cool guy. He freed.
Everybody likes Lincoln. It's trying
Yeah,
to be that sort of thing. Like, how could you disagree with us? We're the Lincoln Project.
Yeah. It's
now
like,
this is cheat. My thing is so and yes, Alex, I was completely fucking with you with that question. But this my problem is it's not really capitalism. Like it's like
Yes.
stuff like Bain capitalism. It's not really capitalism. You're using like because you're talking about a a political like people using insider information and political influence to maneuver their way into certain companies and certain investments. That's essentially cheating. First, I always believed that like I personally believe that if you are in politics, you should not be allowed to invest in anything because you serve the people. You're not, your job is to serve the people. And it's gotten so bad, like DC's gotten so bad where they're not even it's not even against the law to sell stock in the middle of a global pandemic. Like you had a couple of people, you had a couple politicians that were selling stock like to take advantage of their own personal interests via the global pandemic, and it's really like it's very shystery stuff. And to me, in my opinion, that is not capitalism.
yeah, that's insider fucking trading. That's
Yeah.
basically what they do. Like what other like there was a bunch of those companies, like all these like hedge funds and like who was that? Like these venture capitalist firms that do the same sort of shit that Bain Capital does. Like that was most of who I saw investing in this Lincoln Project. Oh, the Russian government. Oh, that's funny. That
Mhm.
destroys the left's narrative that Trump is a Russian asset. Then why the fuck are Russians trying to go and they're funding this shit?
Right when
What
I
are they funding? Would you say they were funding the Lincoln Project?
Yeah,
well,
the
the
Russian.
co-founder was a literal foreign agent for Russia. Not making this up. Cernovich tweeted this out. He was the one that broke this. It's such a. I remember when he sent this out. It's such a killer find. John Weaver, who's the guy that co-founded the Lincoln Project, was a Russian agent. Yes.
And the left, I do not hear CNN talking about this. I don't see MSNBC. I don't see John Lemon. I don't see
Just say John Lemon.
whatever that
Don Lemon.
Don
Lamont. Yeah, close enough. I don't give a shit enough about him to really
Me
critique his
neither.
Yeah, when I see him, it makes me think of like putting a fucking lemon in my mouth.
I'm
my
sure he
face
has.
like that.
I'm sure he has a couple lemons in his mouth.
Oh God.
Try to lemon up his ass.
Why not all
And
three?
And there goes every chance we have of getting monetized.
Yeah, after that terrorist joke, I think that already did us in.
Yeah.
Which was
That guy-
worth it. Which was worth it. Just saying.
That guy from CNN who does the stuff up like the one guy, the really big anti-Trump like gay dude on CNN.
It's like every guy in CNN, Alex.
Yeah, it's tough.
But no,
It's
you're
like,
thinking of
no,
Anderson
see-
Cooper,
Yeah, that motherfucker. Do you want to talk about like?
CIA.
Well, no, like he's related to I think it was like the Carnegies or something. It was like one or the
Oh
Vander.
yeah.
I wish I had. By the way, I wish I had a list. There was a list like during like when Bush was president, and there were all the wars that were going on. You had a whole bunch of Democrat politicians that were like investing. They were like investing in war stocks, like military companies that like, yeah, it's like, it's disgusting. Like, it's so disgusting. And I just like, this is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. And people want to blame, oh, this is what happens when you have an evil capitalist society. It's like, no, that's not capitalism. That's cheating. That's insider trading. That's fucking cheating.
Well, did you guys? I posted this tweet about the Lincoln Project in our server. They had a tweet out that said, "You can't make this shit up." And I have some awful jokes for it though. People like at Jack Posobiec think they are good Catholics. Wrong. Joe Biden is a real Catholic.
No, he's not. He fucking.
Oh, Jesus.
You cannot be a Catholic in good faith and fight for abortion like that. There is a Catholic doctrine.
Well, he hasn't sniffed any little boys' hair, so I don't think he's a real Catholic either. But
well, to be fair, with the sniffing like children's hair, that's probably
yeah, but they're women. They're women. They're not boys.
You'd be surprised. There was a priest a while ago who was like caught using a nunnery as like a fucking his personal sex dungeon in like Mexico. Or something. Like it is disturbing. He was like banging all these like nuns, and it's not funny. Like he was actually like raping people and stuff. Like what the fuck? It's not this little boy like that. That's a real. That's a misconception. They're equal opportunity. They don't discriminate. Little boys, little girls,
really,
older grannies. They don't care. Some of them.
And to be clear, I'm not laughing at the rape. I'm just laughing at just how wacky the Catholic Church can be, and the weirdest stuff they can get into.
To be fair, they molest less people than public school teachers.
You're probably not wrong.
Or Joe Biden.
By significant.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah.
You really want to get us banned, don't you?
I mean, it'd be worth it.
There's more to this tweet, though. Posobiec thinks scripture matters. No, it is in what's in the soul, and Joe is full of soul food. He loves African Americans.
What? It's real?
Is this a real? There's no way this is a real tweet. No way.
No
goddamn way this is real.
Or is it just a screenshot?
I need to check to make sure it's actually the legit account, because I'm actually wondering now.
Oh
no, it's a parody one. Shit.
Yeah.
But see.
Wait a second.
That
can't be fucking real.
But I got pretty far, and we all believed it. That tells you something. You could see him tweeting out that first bit. You could see it.
Hey, there's some good parody accounts on Twitter. There's the mini AOC one.
Yeah.
She usually gives a couple of good tweets.
Didn't like Democrats like start like death threatening the like little girl who's like
weren't they doxing her?
They were like they were trying to dox her and shit. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? It's like, first off, it's a joke, okay? If you can't take a joke, if you can't take the heat, get the hell out of the kitchen. But like, you're crazy when you're about to dox a fucking child because they don't agree with the same thing you do.
They did that shit to him. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the fucking Nicholas Salmon, like trying to.
We need to get him on the show at some point. Like, I'd love to go and talk to that dude.
Yo, yeah. See, I really want the radio show back. Cause that's when we really had the draw.
You get the fucking radio show back, then you play like Enter Sandman by like Metallica.
Yeah.
Yes, I would so do that. And then Nick Sandman comes in. It's Nick Sandman.
Holy shit.
Gotta be funny. Now, see, we should play a game actually, which is like parody or nah, parody or real. This is another tweet. from maybe the Lincoln Project or maybe the parody one. It says Joe Biden's sister cherishes him. Parody or not?
I don't know. Like that just doesn't seem really out there. Like, is there like a picture of like sister like sucking his cock or something? Is it like one of those families?
No. It is a real tweet from the real Lincoln Project, which is still a bit weird, but it's about because they just dumped some like voicemail from like the Washington Post of Marianne Trump like talking about Trump. It's like some not voicemail, but secretly record audio released by the Washington Post, where Trump's sister says someone took his SATs for him. Now, of all the things to like hit Trump on, to me that's like the lowest thing because everybody hates the SATs. And I think everybody kind of feels for Trump on that one. Be like, yeah, if I had the money, I would do that too.
I don't give a fuck if someone took his fucking college test for him like 50 fucking years ago. Like, who really cares?
I know. It's stupid.
Like, yeah, sure, it's not a good thing, but like, so what? Like, at least Trump doesn't go up and like sniff like little children's hair and like bite his wife's finger in public and call like say extremely racist things multiple times to the black community and then have a shit-eating grin about it and thinks that's okay while also claiming that Trump's the first racist president, which is wrong on so many fucking levels. Like even if he was fucking racist, like how many actual like slave owners were presidents? How many like actual like diehard racists were president?
LBJ.
Oh God Lord, you had shit, who else did we have over there? Like, who's that guy from like the fucking Woodrow Wilson? He was in the KKK. Like he revived the
Wait,
KKK.
what?
Yeah, Woodrow Wilson. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he helped. Like he was also the one who played that like it was like the
Birth of a Nation. Yeah.
he was in the White House, and he was like a grand wizard in like the Ku Klux Klan, which.
Well, I gotta fact check that because I'm not seeing that. Oh, he was a supporter of the Ku Klux Klan, which is still pretty fucking crazy.
No, but he led to the revival of it because back when he was in there, like, it did not exist. Like, it was like so fucking on the downturn. Then he brought to the national stage, like, only people in the fucking South.
Jesus Christ. He was definitely a supporter, which is fucking crazy. To know that a sitting U.S. president was a... Wait, I guess he's not... Wait, why did I say sitting? That's stupid. A president of the United States was a supporter of the Klan. And resurrected the Klan. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a book on it.
Yeah, he did like a lot of stuff too. Like he was this historian, and he, spread a lot of like memes that stuck around for a while that were like probably, interesting, historically, like in a bad way. Like he did a lot of really bad shit. You had the other ones who actually owned slaves. Like they're like even fucking like even their namesake like Lincoln, like he did not like black people at all.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to deport them to fucking like Liberia because he didn't want them in America.
By the way, did Alyssa Milano? I guess she praised. I guess she praised Woodrow Wilson for signing in 1916. Signing the law establishing the National Park Service.
Oh my God.
Which is very nice.
No, it's good.
Totally left out the whole birth of the nation thing and the whole Ku Klux Klan thing. But yeah, that freaking National Park Service thing was dynamite, right?
Yeah, he was one who invented the 14 points.
Wait, what?
And like actually like the 14 points. He was one that actually did that. Not the 1488 thing, but like the actual 14.
Oh, points. That's right. That's right. Yeah, because that's what that dude on our show said.
Yeah, that was a fucking for the OG listeners. Like there's none on right now. So.
That was a classic real news moment live on air that made us all lose our shit. Oh my god, that was before your time, Phil. I need to send you that clip. We were dying. That was when we were having audio issues too, which I literally could have fixed by just hitting a button, but I didn't know at the time. And so we were on delay with Vince there at the time, and you were in studio, Alex, and we were like, we'd have this guy speak, and then we would speak, and then he would speak, and then we would speak, because he was like in the car or something, like listening to us while like asking his question, and he couldn't I forget how it was working, like the delay. It was really weird how that delay was working.
I think.
What was that?
Wasn't like a 5-second delay so that if you need to dump it?
No, it was different. There was something weird going on with that particular delay. Like it was something else where like I think he couldn't hear. Oh, that's what it was. He couldn't hear us. So he had to use the radio coming out of the speakers in his car to hear us, but we could hear him.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Okay.
Oh, 3-round burst. There we go.
What was that?
3-round burst. There you go.
Usually my bursts are longer, but that was a 3-round burst. Get your mind out of the gutter, Sean. But anyway, the Lincoln Project. We went down the Woodrow Wilson rabbit hole. This is an article that tells you everything you need to know about the Lincoln Project and why it exists. This is from the New York Post, and there's a stupid ad behind the headline, so you can barely read it. Lincoln Project co-founder met with Trump for campaign role in 2016, but Trump never hired him and called him, where is it? It's something funny. Let's see. One source said Schmidt thought the president was the best candidate ever seen, blah, blah, blah. But things quickly soured when Trump thought Schmidt's ideas were bad and that the Big Apple real estate mogul left the meeting with a feeling that Schmidt was very untrustworthy and a total idiot. So Trump called him a total idiot. The president was very turned off by the fact that Schmidt had turned on McCain, his former boss, for the money. And Schmidt did not initially his return. Blah, 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 blah. So the guy is basically out for money. That's all he's about.
Yeah, he's a fucking, paid fucking hit. Like,
Show.
Yeah, paid show.
Paid show. Literally a paid show. And with the Cernovich thread, the other founder, Weaver, is a Russian agent. Project Lincoln, now Project Lenin, co-founder, was registered as a foreign agent for Russia in 2019. And oh my god, guess what this headline says right here too. Kasich advisor will lobby against potential Russian sanctions. John Weaver has been a top strategist for the Kasich campaign.
Ooh.
It's all connected.
You didn't even talk about Kasich. Holy shit.
Hungry Kasich is, so Kasich's strategist was a Russian agent in 2019. You can't make this stuff up.
But Trump's the Russian one.
Yep, it's all projection. All projection.
Yeah, I wonder if Kasich was the one that actually got pissed on in Moscow.
I don't think I could kind of see that happening, non-ironically.
He got shit on because he was hungry.
What?
Maybe he got shit on instead.
He was hungry. Yeah, remember when he would do that where he'd be eating food and he'd do these interviews? It's like, what are you doing? And then he was at the Kasich, a lifelong Republican, quote unquote, spoke at the Democrat National Convention. And he does this stupid shit where he's like, we're at a crossroads. And he's standing at a crossroads. Like, do you get it, guys? We're at a crossroads here. You have a choice. And there's a visual representation to that because I am not creative.
Yeah, fuck you, Kasich. Go and eat a fucking hot dog, you piece of shit.
Yeah, absolutely awful. Yeah, traitor. Like you said in the chat, he's just a traitor. He's a total traitor.
Oh, good. We have someone in the chat? No? Do we?
We have a gamma here.
Apex
What's up,
popped up.
fellas?
What's going on,
Hey.
guys? It's been a while. How have you been?
How you
man?
holding up?
Yeah, man. How you guys doing?
Yeah,
Good.
you know, it's
Good. Sorry I'm late. I was talking shit in Sammy's chat. You should be sure
Hey.
behind me.
No problem, man. We're just talking shit on John Kasich. I think
Oh, what's he up to?
he's going to the DNC and he's bitching about Trump.
Oh,
yeah.
He's a cuck. He's a show.
he's a cup.
He's
I
a
mean,
rhino.
took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, it reminds me there was a certain college Republican president who was very, very happy about supporting John Kasich.
Oh wow. Which one may that be, Alex? Can you give us a hint?
I don't know, man. You know,
I'm sensing some tension here.
it's gonna be the last straw. I tell you what.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
definitely sensing a little tension here. Can I get
Nah.
some lower background here?
But,
Yeah, we had the
well, there's a
at our-
long history of college Republican presidents who were complete cucks and pro-establishment.
That is
anti-Trump.
why I needed a hint.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, there's not really one major one that I even really know about. I mean, the other one I haven't really spoke to him in a while. He worked for that. What's that like scam organization you most joined with like the teachers, where they'd like basically make you work in like shitty schools.
oh yeah, what was that? I think it was Teach for America. Was that it?
Yeah, he ended up working for there, and he got like woke after working there, and it's like, come on, dude, you're like the most prototypical like college Republican frat boy. Now you're like pretending that you care about all these inner city problems. Like, okay, buddy.
You know what that is? That's
Mason too.
Mason.
And I'm not even making this up. I went over to his house once and I saw Mason paraphernalia around, and I asked his dad about that. I was like, "Oh yeah, you Mason?" I was like, "Nope."
You should have said yes and see what happened.
He probably would do some like strange like sign or something, and then they'd like throw me in the basement. Like, I don't know what the fuck Mason.
Gag you with like a ball gag and like, yo, tie you upside down.
The numbers, Mason.
Oh god, I was talking to my girlfriend about somebody that she knew that was a Mason. I forget the lore behind what she told me, but it was something funny, like that they would do or like something. I was like, oh boy, another Mason.
I wonder if all the college Republicans are like Masons. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some shit like that going on.
That's
Behind
their
the
secret
Probably, man.
society.
Yeah, it's totally true. Like they're all the same sort of like elitist society. Well, no, there's like maybe one I could see who wouldn't be a Mason because he didn't like Trump, but at least he wasn't like super elitist.
I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah, I had like we were like when I was going to find to the Mason guy's house, like I was in a car with someone else and we were just like bullshitting for like 5 hours because the dude couldn't find his own way to his own fucking house. They told us not to go and use Google Maps. We're like, okay. We ended up driving around in a circle for like 2.5 hours.
Was he fucking Amish? Oh, we can't use smartphones, guys.
And he's like, oh, I know it, guy. Don't worry, I got it. I got fucking pissed and I like did a burnout somewhere. I was upset.
Wait, you did a burnout?
Yeah, I was pissed. I like turn around.
That's funny. Oh god. Freemasonry, the teachers and practicing of the secret fraternal, men only. You notice it's always like men only. Order of free and accepted Masons, the largest worldwide secret society. Wow.
It's the patriarchy, bro.
Literally.
I think they have like a
Yeah,
woman
literally, right?
board or something.
Freemasonry evolved from the guilds of stonemasons and cathedral builders of the Middle Ages. You know how fucking like bizarre that sounds? That started from that. Because when I hear masons, I think of like a mason. Like
Yeah, like a literal stoneworker, right?
yeah, like
That's who they are. Like Masons. They're,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
aren't that now.
Yeah.
They started from people that built churches and cathedrals
Yeah.
Like,
hundreds of years ago, and now they call themselves Masons, which is brickworkers, but they don't work with bricks. They just
Well, no,
they
but
do
see, like,
everything.
think philosophically. They might not be building like churches and like buildings, but they are building society, you know, through their
Oh god.
bullshit.
Well,
Through their
I heard they
secret actions and choices and decisions. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
yeah I think they used to work with bricks, but Antifa took their bricks.
No, they delivered them to Antifa.
I was
They
just
probably
going to say they delivered them.
Yeah.
Like I could see it. I mean, they're one of the weirder secret societies because it's not like with Bohemian Grove, for example. Like you kind of have a. I don't want to say like you know what goes on there, but like you have an idea of like, ooh, this happens like every year. The Masons, I don't know what the fuck they do. Like,
From what I understand, like there's different levels. So if you're like the low level, like a lot of people can join it, but like once you start getting to like the 32nd degrees, when like apparently the real weird shit happens, then you go into like the master lodge, and then you start like networking with really high up people allegedly. There's like a
Yeah.
for a while back.
Isn't it? Isn't 34th 34 the highest degree?
It's something like that we know of. Maybe they have some other like stupid degrees, and you know Shriners, like the hospital.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know that's run by Masons.
Jesus Christ.
Like, that's like like if you look at that fez, that's a Mason. That's a Mason symbol.
What?
Like
I actually personally know a gentleman. He's 83 years old now. He's a close family friend who is a Mason and has been for most of his life. And he claims it's been a while since I've spoke to him about it. It's either 33rd or 32nd. It's like the whatever is right underneath that you can get to. And it was told to me in confidence, but he's got some credentials that I can't really quantify because I don't know what the fuck they mean, but they all seem very mysterious. And this old man, again, who is a family friend and has been for basically my whole life, has confided in me, not told me any secrets, but just how strange it is and how strange it would be because I've asked him, like, what even is masonry? What does that mean? It's like, well, it started as a general description of, men that get together and discuss, things. And the older I got and asked more questions, and the older he got and seemingly either didn't care as much or, again, it's not like I heard any real nitty gritty, but it just the way in which he described the weirdness to it gave me some vibes that I don't think I'll ever really forget, but I can't really quantify either because I didn't get any details. And I can't even verify that this man is what he says, other than all the things with Mason logos on it, letterheads and jackets and weird fucking attire and shit like that.
How do you spell that hospital, Alex?
Shriners, like Shriners. Like I believe that's one of the degrees you can get. So they have like a Scottish rite, and I think like Shriners was another rite.
First thing that comes up is not Shriners Hospital, but Shriners Mason.
Yeah, they own the hospital, and they use.
Oh, you're talking about the symbol of that like little hat thing.
Yeah, that hospital is run by Masons.
Oh my god, I see like on some of these like official like these staffers have these hats with these like little symbols on and shit. Oh my god, a Mason hospital.
Well, yeah, like if you go into your town, I bet you'll find a fucking Mason lodge somewhere in there.
Yeah, there's one near me. I
at
just
least it's
noticed it
open.
in Westchester. Like when you drive in, there used to be this like, I'd always see this like sign with like a symbol on it. I was like, oh, what's that? And then when I was driving with my girlfriend there last weekend, I was like, wait, fucking A, that's a Mason symbol. And that's when we started talking about Masons.
Dude, they're everywhere. Like even my parents town, like they don't live in a big like city or anything, but like there's a fucking Mason Mason Lodge right down there. And it's like this big building. I don't even think they have any windows in it. You know, it's just strange. And they're all over the fucking country. And you won't even know what, like, if you don't look into this stuff, you would never know what the fuck they are. You probably just think it's like, like the Moose Lodge or an Elk Lodge or something.
Well, that's what I thought until you were literally the first person to bring it up to me. In terms of, like, me understanding what it was. I bet maybe somebody had mentioned it before, but, like, I didn't know what the fuck a Mason was till you told me. And, like, how do they even get those road signs there?
It's like any other attraction. They put it up there. They talk to they probably run the council. They might, I mean, if they're low level, they probably don't do that much stuff. It's probably just like any other frat. I don't think they do the drinking as much, but it's more. I think the lower levels, from what I understand, it's more like, like a Moose Lodge or an Elk Lodge, or maybe even like they have like a Catholic version sort of thing. It was like the Knights of Columbus, but they're not nearly as secretive. Like, I know I have friends in there, but like from what I understand, like to get in there, you have to do this like weird ritual involving like the story of Hiram and Abiff, which is some like ancient dude in Egypt who got like stabbed in the back, I think 3 times, and he was like a Mason or something. I don't know. I saw on like the History Channel once, and like it's some weird ritual. And then once you start getting to the higher levels, and like they have bigger lodges, especially in Europe, but I think there's probably some in America too, is when you start to see the really interesting stuff. Like your local lodge probably doesn't have anything that crazy going on. But once you start getting into like the grand lodges and stuff is when you probably start to see the really crazy stuff go down.
Nowadays, women can be Freemasons too. Oh, progressive.
They probably can't get to the Grandmaster level.
Yeah.
Get your bitch ass back in the kitchen.
It's been subverted. It's just been subverted. That's all.
Like most people probably don't even never even seen like a Grand Lodge, even like regular Masons. They probably never been on the inside of those. I imagine those very few people who do, and those who do are probably like well-connected individuals. And I don't think like the Masons are the only one either. Like they have a couple other ones. Like I forget the name of it, but it was like the Strange, like something. It was like an old guild. It's like a Strange Love or Strange
Dr. Strangelove.
Something weird like that.
Oh, here we go. When did Freemasonry start? I'm like reading this article on it. Are you thinking of? There's a long-standing rumor that Freemasons are the same as the Illuminati. It wouldn't surprise me. What do we think of the Illuminati? Is that actually a thing anymore, or is that just a meme?
I think it was probably a meme, but I think that they mean the Masons, but they couldn't say the Masons. I think there's a number of secret societies like that and fraternal organizations that exist currently. Some of them could be religious in nature. Some of them could be, fraternal. Some of them could be familial. Like, you get like the Saudi royal. Like, they probably have a Middle Eastern version. And then you'll see like stuff like the Saudi royal family, a bunch of these other ones. And like the Bilderberg group, I think, is another one.
Yeah. Famous Freemasons. Oh boy, this is where the fun begins.
And those are just ones you know of too.
Yep. George Washington, Paul Revere, Ben Franklin, Andrew Jackson. Franklin was one of the first. He became a Grand Master at the Philadelphia Lodge.
Oh shoot, that's right near you.
Yeah. Symbols of free.
Alex Schmidt to break into the lodge.
Yes. Dude, I would totally do it. Like, that sort of shit would like get me all giggity and like, ooh, like all excited and like I mean, getting into that shit would just be wild.
I bet it's gonna be like Eyes Wide Shut, like the Grand Lodges.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's a shit.
That's like all dudes.
Oh God. Today, Freemasonry is undergoing a decline. Oh darn. The lodges are having a terrible time recruiting men. Most young men today don't accept these kind of distinctions, such as a place exclusively for men, and places exclusively for women. I wouldn't say that's the reason, but okay.
Oh yeah, look at fucking frats.
Yeah. Guys like guys and girls like girls. That's not gonna change unless they want to fuck.
Well, like if you're a Catholic, you are not allowed to be a Mason. Like that's another
I
interesting.
like Catholicism a lot more now. Continue.
I have this like good friend of mine. He was in this like pro-life and like anti-communist group, a little bit autistic, but like he's a really cool dude. But he would like one of his rules. It was like you cannot be a Freemason if you want to join this group. He was like
Based.
some pope issued some decree saying you cannot be a Catholic in good faith and be a Mason. And I think they even had a political party in the United States for a little while that was like specifically against Freemasonry. It's a real problem back in the day. If they had a whole political party dedicated to getting rid of you, you must be you must have done something.
The Masons helped build the National Cathedral in D.C. and the Statue of Liberty.
Wait, I thought the Statue of Liberty was made by the French.
It is, yes, but this article is saying, and I'm trying to see what they mean by this, but it's like doing this bunch of true or false shits on CBS. It says Freemasons laid the cornerstone of America, well, at least some of its most iconic structures, like the National Cathedral in Washington and the Statue of Liberty. David Crockett was a Mason, so is Harry Houdini, Gerald Ford, Henry Ford, John Wayne, and Colonel Sanders. If you want to be a Mason, you can petition a local lodge for membership. You'll need to demonstrate good character and belief in some sort of supreme being. Oh, and in almost all lodges, it's men only. Well, Alex, you know what you gotta do now.
I'm Catholic. I can't join this shit.
Well, you're not Catholic now, are you? I could do it.
Yeah,
Until they Google me.
Infiltrate it.
Yes.
You need to make a right-wing version of like the fucking Masons.
Yes.
Is that kind of like what
the Proud Boys?
No, like the John Birch Society kind of was.
I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about them.
I mean, they were like this anti-communist group, but I don't think they're really secretive.
Speaking of Proud Boys,
Back on top.
Yeah, back on the real shit. They were trending on Twitter because they got into a fight with Antifa, and oh my god, we had a punch heard around the world part 2. Did you see the video?
No, I didn't see that.
This was in Portland. I posted in the general chat. I think it's the first video I posted near the end. I mean, the beginning of the video, they're like throwing this shit at this Antifa dude. I mean, Antifa throwing this shit at this Proud Boys dude. And then at the end of it, this Proud Boy just fucking like knocks the guy out like one blow.
One Punch Man.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think. Okay, this is funny. Look at this. Do you have the stream going on your end,
Yeah.
Alex?
Yeah, I have the video.
Yeah, look at this video of these Antifa people like throwing these fucking like these
Or something.
construction things like the cones, the pylons. He's like, huh! And he misses. Oh, and it stood upright. That's funny. I gotta play that again. That is so funny. He like chucks this thing with all his might, this little pylon, and he's like, huh! He misses the Proud Boy, and it lands right back on its side, like how it's supposed to be. Oh, now they're hitting a Proud Boy with one of the pylons, and this Proud Boy like just punches the guy. It's coming up. See, so they're getting into a fight. They're going after their guy, and they're probably looks like
with that, like what? That's so fucking stupid.
this is where the punch comes. Boom! Oh
He like skips.
Oh, he hit. Wait, was that chick? I can't tell.
Well, if they're Antifa, they might not be either or. Might be in between somewhere.
Is that? I can't actually tell. Like, oh god, he just took her out. Just boom. Then you get those conservatives on Twitter. They're like, I condemn the Proud Boys and Antifa. They're both bad.
Fucking Proud Boys, they're staying their ground. Good on them.
Yep. Strong second. Yeah, it got pretty crazy. But the Proud Boys are kind of making a comeback right now. I'm afraid they're going to get into some more trouble again. And then the fun's going to be over.
People.
It'd be nice if he could, because these are all done through like state courts.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Oh shit. They came into like a parking garage and they started destroying what was in the parking garage and like throwing. Where were they throwing shit at? Like the one guy throws at the fucking ceiling. Oh, they have their umbrellas again.
Hey, what's up?
Not much, gentlemen.
We're just watching Proud Boys porn.
Ooh.
Yeah, did you see the Battle of Portland today?
No, what happened?
Proud Boys and Antifa are clashing in Portland, and there's like this fucking like brutal sucker punch. I think he hit a chick, this one Proud Boy. It's in the general chat on our server if you scroll up. It's the first video I posted from Andy No on Twitter. This guy just fucking clocks this one.
Yeah, I think the Masons took down Gamma.
Yeah, we start talking about Masons and then Gamma mysteriously disappeared, coincidentally.
Oh, you started talking about Freemasonry?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I started talking about Israel, and Gamma got a little.
That's another one.
That's a buzzword.
Well, I mean, what can I say? I love Israeli chicks. So.
Yeah, I love hot chicks from anywhere.
Your sister ain't too bad. Just kidding.
What?
Dude, I've seen those photos. They ain't good.
Fluffy Phil knows what I'm talking about.
How awkward must that be during Thanksgiving or something? When like Ben Shapiro.
Now we lost Phil. Great job, guys.
Like, can you imagine how awkward that must be when like Ben Shapiro like goes for like Thanksgiving or like Passover or something? He sees his like sister there. He's like, I know what you fucking look like. Disturbing ways because people keep spamming my fucking Twitter with it.
He probably stares at her and he's probably like, I wonder if she realizes what I realize right now, and if she's thinking about the same thing I'm thinking about. But I think of her and I look at her and I'm thinking about all the things that I see on the internet of her and how disturbing they are and how what's the term that they use like when that's like not holy or not like Christian?
Oh, not kosher.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not. There's no one for kosher, but it's like, you know, it's probably what he's thinking about.
That's haram.
Haram.
Well, she's not a doctor. I mean, you know, she's not a doctor. Doctors fuck. So.
Yo, the Proud Boys had pepper spray. Yo, the Proud Boys had pepper spray and Antifa was using their umbrellas as shields.
Oh my god, this is so fucking dated.
I do
Proud Boys have like fucking like plywood shields.
They spray each other with fucking pepper spray and super soakers. What the fuck is this? This is like a holy shit, dude. This is like a fucking kids like a fucking fight.
Yes.
I do not see how.
Oh my god!
I do not see how this is going to end well for the Proud Boys, though. I mean,
but you know, fucking stand your ground, man.
Yeah,
They're going after each other with super soakers and fucking pepper spray. What the fuck is this?
So I have to ask you guys, what the fuck happened with Millie Weaver?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So,
Oh my god, I need time to recover. Are you seeing this?
yeah, this is like, yeah,
I don't.
for soakers in Japan that like using umbrellas as shields. This is like some like elementary school hijinks gone wrong.
I'm tearing up. Oh my god. Like, look at this fucker. He just pulls it up.
God, this is like, yeah, this kind of looks pretty beta. To be fair, like, I get what you're saying. Like, I'd rather them just go and like throw a fucking. At least if you throw a fucking brick, it's a little bit less fucking pussy than this.
Holy shit, that's the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Like, you have these people with fucking, like, pepper spray, like, riot shields made of, like, plywood and metal, and, like, bulletproof vests, and this fucker comes up with a super soaker.
Yeah, like, what are they doing? Like, they probably put, like, dog piss in it or something.
Oh,
Nah.
see, I don't even know if he did that.
There's probably some sort of noxious chemical. They probably, like, put their semen in it or something, or, like,
Yeah, they're like STD-ridden semen.
they probably put, like, period blood in there to be feminist.
Yeah.
That's what someone likes to do.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
fuck.
Yeah, no. Putting cum in there would be too masculine. So.
Oh,
They won't,
God.
yeah, they probably couldn't go and make enough of it to go and fill a fucking super soaker with all those Antifa
Yeah, I couldn't jack off enough.
blockers.
Oh my god, it's so fucking funny. See, I didn't notice that till you mentioned it. It just had me dying. Oh my god, I'm sorry. That was just the funniest fucking thing. I don't know why that's so funny, but it is fucking funny. Like, cause you see these, they're trying to be like big and intimidating with their all black. Ooh, we're scary. We have batons. We have hammers. We have nails in our bats. And then you have this fucker here. Like, he's dressed in like a white t-shirt and he has a bicycle helmet on. He just pulls out a super soaker.
Dude, like, that is pretty beta.
Oh my god.
Super
Okay.
soaker. We took our super soakers when these men came up, and we took out our umbrellas. We started spraying them. Yeah, that'll teach us Trump supporters. Ugh, those fascists. Isn't that right, mommy?
You know what I would just love to do is dress up as like Batman or something and just start beating the crap out of an Antifa.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I am Batman. The alt knight rises.
Well, see, then those fuckers will go up behind you with a bike lock, and you know it's hard to go and defend against that.
Oh my god.
Not if you have fucking batarangs. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean it's 2020. Everyone has to wear a fucking mask anyway. So, you know, we might as well don full fucking costumes now.
Oh
So.
my god. This is so funny. This guy with his super soaker. Like, what is he doing? You did not come prepared for this battle, sir. Oh my god. Go home and rethink your life. Fuck. Okay. We need to change subjects or I'm just gonna keep laughing. That is just the funniest thing.
Wait,
talk about Millie Weaver?
Yes, we need to talk about Millie, the downfall of Millie, your waifu, Sam. Explain to us what happened to your waifu.
I thought your waifu was born Southern.
He has two
No,
waifus.
my waifu is Millie Weaver. But are we on air, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, hi chat. So
You didn't miss much. I don't think we had anyone say anything. in the
Yeah, I
chat.
think you're talking to the good old empty chat that we're used to.
Yeah.
So well, I don't know what happened with Mel Weaver other than she went crazy.
Went
Which
or was always crazy.
What happened? Yeah, like, did she burglarize her parents or something? Like,
Okay.
I
What
I don't
happened
know.
according to Alex? Now, we need to say some breaking news first, which is that a few days ago, so I guess it's not so breaking, Alex cut ties with Millie. They were contracted with InfoWars, and they cut ties. And now Millie's on her own, I guess. I do want to see this one video. I fell asleep when I was trying to watch it. And I know we think she's cringe, but Caitlin Bennett did have a video out about Millie and the truth about her. Because they used to be like real tight friends, and then she started going off the rails, it sounded like. Alex, okay, I still need to watch the documentary, but apparently in the documentary, Millie has some good stuff in there, but she ties Roger Stone to all this Shadowgate shit, and according to Alex, makes Roger Stone seem like the real bad guy here because, oh, he says he's MAGA, but he really isn't, sort of thing. And I don't know what Millie was thinking, because she didn't run it by Alex, she didn't run it by Roger, she just went ahead and did it, and she relied on these two, like, strange people for the entire documentary. Like, it kind of hinges upon them, or relies upon them. And I know Alex is really, I think that's why Alex cut ties, is once he saw the documentary and saw what she was saying about Roger, who's a close friend of his and who they trust, he said, okay, fuck you, bye. That's what I think went down. Could be wrong. This Caitlin Bennett one, when I saw a bit of it, I think she was saying that Millie was hanging around some, bad actors with a lot of bad info. And that's what Alex was. Alex was kind of implying that she could have been set up by the deep state or somebody else. And she had these people that were giving her false info and trying to, fuck with her. Which I think is possible. I think it's very possible she was set up. But the other thing that people have mentioned, I think Caitlin or Alex or somebody mentioned this, that the fact that she films her arrest the way she does is a bit suspicious. The fact that she's like, oh, guy, like I think it was Lee Strahan that mentioned this, who I kind of question that guy, but he mentions or brings up the point that this charge, this battery charge or whatever it is, apparently that stuff doesn't get dropped, so she kind of knows it's a thing, but she was acting like it was something else. That's what his take was, so that's what I've gotten out of all this.
In regards to Lee Stranahan, I may or may not be a good witness, because I actually know him a bit. Lee's pretty good. Lee's pretty good, minus the fact that he and Cernovich used to beef, which I blame.
Well, the thing I don't get about Lee is, like, he seems to dislike all the people I like. Like Milo, he kind of doesn't. He feels like he has it sounds like he sometimes has like an axe to grind with these people. Like, he brings up issues with Milo all the time, Cernovich, Posobiec. I'm like, I like all these people. Like, what's he talking about?
Well, because I mean, I don't want to go down this Cernovich rabbit hole, but I mean, I think he kind of feels like Mike started to grift onto right after the whole gorilla mindset thing didn't work out for him. So that's kind of Lee's opinion on Mike. I'm not sure what his whole thing with Milo is. So
Yeah.
I will say this. I love Milo, but dude, we get that you're gay. You don't need to bring it up on your show every 5 minutes. You're becoming a meme of yourself. So
He's always been
but
that. He's a very flamboyant, gay conservative. Like he's using the leftist tactic of deconstruction against the left. But what you're putting on the screen right now about that,
Mm-hmm.
that child predator shit.
This was one of her sources. This is
Yeah,
one of the people Millie was relying on as a whistleblower and a source.
oh boy.
A pedophile.
Yeah. Either she got bad sources, didn't vet them, didn't check them, got set up. Either way, it's sloppy. And what really set me off was the fact that Alex said even before he cut ties with her, like when she just got arrested, like he said he was telling her, like, look, Millie, you're in over your head. I'm staying away from this. I'll report on it, but I'm not getting involved. When Alex is saying he's not going to get involved, that's when you know she's in some shit. I don't know what shit is, but it's some shit. And he's been in this a long time. He knows, he's got a good sense of things. He knows what's good and juicy and what's bad and what's to stay away from. And he knew this is not something he should get involved with. And he was smart in the end of it. I mean, Alex Jones is an incredibly smart guy.
Yeah, I mean, he might be a meme, but he is incredibly smart, and he's also been doing this since, since before she was born. I mean, hell, since before any of us were born, for that
And I
matter.
met, like,
I think.
I actually got to be interviewed by Millie at CPAC, and she seemed pretty, decent and nice. But the one thing I did notice was that the InfoWars crew was mostly together. Alex, Owen, Millie, Rob, Dew, all those people were pretty much like a family comp together. But Millie seemed the most distant of all of them, I noticed. She did shit on her own, and I think she was with them when they were on the floor for a bit. Like, but at these after parties, she was never at any of those.
She
From
was
what
like
I can
the
remember.
beetle over there.
Kind of, yeah. I do, looking back, kind of noticed. I was like, she was kind of one of those kind of more missing in action, more than the other guys. The other guys seemed like wanted to hang out and be together, and I didn't see a lot of her. But I could be wrong and all that, but that's just an observation.
Hey, speaking of pedophiles, have you noticed this like movement on Twitter with like that map stuff going on?
Yeah, what is that?
It's minor attracted person.
Oh, God.
And
It's
like
like a
there's
soft way of saying pedophilia, the PC
yeah,
way.
yeah, but like I've been seeing a lot more of that stuff. I think it started out as like a 4chan troll campaign, but I think there is some actual pedophiles using it now because they think it's legitimate. Like it is getting fucking ridiculous. Like they're trying to become like a part of the LGBTQIAAP plus community.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, I will say this. I know a bunch of. I shouldn't say I know a bunch, but the gays that I do know of are like, in real life, are like, no, we're not standing for that shit. Which, good for them. But I still feel like I still feel like they're gonna try and wedge their way in anyway. So.
if you actually look at the history of that, like in the gay liberation movement, you'd be surprised with how old some of these organizations are, like NAMBLA. Like it's been there since like the 60s and 70s. Like I think one of the Chicago 7 or whatever was a self-professed like pedophile or man boy love advocate.
Oh yeah, I just feel bad for like the couple of gay friends that I do have in IRL because, they didn't sign on for this shit. So,
Oh yeah, like the left's been pushing that like through like really in the shadows for a long time. Like I heard in Europe, like there was some more disturbing stuff going on with like kindergarten classes. Like
well, did you guys hear about that new movie that's coming out on Netflix that
Oh,
cuties
yeah, we
are?
were going to talk about that.
Yep.
Okay, so they had this poster for it that like went viral, for the wrong reasons, and they changed it, but they didn't pull the show. No, they're keeping the show. Yeah, that's the thing that we're
Well,
talking about.
well, but again, that's it's interesting that Alex brought up France because that is a French production company that's doing
Oh,
that.
God.
So,
like the Green Party in Europe was involved with some really creepy shit back in like the 70s and like during the gay liberation and all this stuff with, you know, pedophilia, where it was, you know, it's not like it wasn't treated like it was and should be, you know, now. Like there was a lot of stuff that went on in Europe that would never fly in the United States. But like just in general though, like child pageants, like that is kind of disturbing that these exist. Like I honestly
Oh yeah.
I don't see why we allow that. Like, you know, especially when you have like what do you expect? Like I don't like how they have, you know, who was that? Like Desmond is amazing and like he goes to strip clubs and
Jazz.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they'll often go and say, "Oh, well, you allow child pageants." Well, honestly, if I had a choice, I would not, because you end up getting almost the same sort of behavior. You know, they have adults sexualizing and possibly sexually exploiting young children at these events. And who really has it? Even if they don't, you know, get physically abused, you know, good Lord knows what's going on behind the scenes with that. You know, adults see that content and do God knows what with it. And it's perfectly legal to attend these events because the kids aren't, you know, naked or anything. So it's like this weird gray area that I think encourages pedophilia.
Yeah, and hear this part. It says, aside from the promotional artwork, the plot of the film itself is disturbing. Cuties, according to Netflix, is about an 11-year-old girl named Amy who becomes fascinated with a twerking dance crew and starts to explore her femininity. The villains in the movie are Amy's traditional and religious family, of course, who are painted in the preview as oppressive, sexist bigots because they want to protect their young daughter's innocence. Oh my god, I've never heard of this in a movie before.
Oh my god, you don't want your child to be sexualizing herself when she's not even a fucking teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, forbid.
That's awful.
Like, see, this is my problem with society right now is like they encourage that. You know, you need to have fucking standards at some point. Like, I know everything's into this, you know, leftist, you know, everything's relative and nothing's truly good or truly bad. But, you know, that's a bullshit philosophy. There is true good and there is true evil. And when you sexualize children, that is evil. That, like, gotcha memes on there. What the fuck is that?
There's a huge fucking double standard too, because you know, if underage kids want to, you know, sexualize themselves and whatever, that's a-okay. But if a teenage boy wants to look at, you know, Kate Upton or whatever, that's bad and that's sexist. And that young teen boy is automatically going to grow up to become a rapist.
Yo,
definitely.
Look
Why?
at this.
Because
Sorry, what was that?
why? Because he likes boobs. You know, that was basically a spiel I was given in high school by some feminist teacher. So
I hate feminist teachers. But
did you see the trailer for this shit? It
No.
literally, okay, this is I think the real problem with this. It's not the sexualizing of children, but the main character is black, and her evil Christian conservative oppressive family is also black. But she is trying to be a Muslim, I think, because she joins this dance group of a bunch of Muslims. And
What?
yeah.
How does this make any, like, I don't think twerking is halal.
how is
Drinking
this
is very
frick
haram.
how is this flick even realistic? So
A twerk Muslim dance. Like, what the fuck is this?
Well, no, it gets better because this is why I think that was the issue with it, is the race and the religious stuff. Because this one guy here on Facebook, which I'm gonna assume is a lefty, says Netflix has been gross for a while now. It's time for everyone to cancel their subscription. Somehow they found a way to do pedophilia and Islamophobia at the same time. Woke. When you're too woke and you become Islamophobic.
uh
Yeah, I mean, it got so bad that they end up like banning it on like the TV board of 4chan.
Wow. Yeah, I know. That's when you know it's bad. And the
Well, I don't think
description.
they made it on me. That it was just TV, I think.
Mm-hmm. And the description also, here's the full description. 11-year-old Amy starts to rebel against her conservative family's traditions when she becomes fascinated with a free-spirited dance crew. Yep. That's unbelievable. It got a direct... Oh, that's something else. Wait, is that? No. No, it did get a directing award. Fucking A. Yeah. So, yeah, that's, like, why is this, like, a thing? And why is this... Like, do the average... does the average person really, like, want to watch this? No. But will they eventually, like, be, like, accepting of it? Because it's beaten over the head so much, like, well, let's check it out. Maybe it's not so bad. Oh, let's see what this show's really about. And then they see it, and then they're like, no. Yeah, this is fucking nuts. Why am I getting all these, like, fucking, like... When I type in cuties, or whatever how you say it, I get this, like, all these, like fucking, like, BTS, like, TikToks is what it looks like. Like, look at this shit. Like, what is this?
Of course, there'd be TikTok involved in this somehow.
No, look at what's coming up on Twitter. It's, like, all these, It looks like BTS or some K-pop shit.
I don't know. Like, K-pop's involved in a lot of weird stuff. I don't know how that happens. Like the anime stuff. I think maybe it's like some sort of spam algorithm, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my god. What happened to Netflix? What happened to them?
Well, they do have some. They do have one. They do have a couple good programs like Narcos and Mindhunter.
And The Witcher.
So, I mean, I don't blame Netflix entirely. I blame the production companies that partner with, but it's like what I brought up to Apex on my show was who at Netflix like approves all this stuff. Like that's what I want to know because like if you're Netflix, clearly you want to be like I'm not really like I'm not really playing devil's advocate for Cutie, but what I am saying is that like I'm not blaming Netflix as a whole just because like they probably have like multiple departments, for like each category or whatever. I don't know. I could be talking out my ass.
Dude,
out my ass too.
There's a fucking Daily Beast article, and the headline says, "The angry Christian right should watch Netflix Cuties." Why conservatives like Ben Shapiro are triggered by WAP. That's the Cardi B song. Which I think is stupid and degenerate, but like Ben Shapiro has the most puritanical takes on things.
So like that's not like a good litmus test at all. So
yeah, it's a bad look. Oh my god, this article's defending this. Oh my god.
Well, Sean,
you guys check out the chat.
It's the I can.
Oh
I can
shit. Yeah, chat's blown up. Maya Carr says no, kids cannot sexualize themselves ever. Their brains are not developed. Period. Very true. Their brains are being trained to find its stimuli, and puberty is dangerous because they can get hypersexual. Oh, I know they can get hypersexual. Believe me. A child that's hypersexualized will always be stimulated by sexuality and nothing else. That's why abuse in Sharia is so bad, and it's abuse over generation to generation. It's a stimuli now, it's abuse. That's true. Donnie, hello in the chat there. Did you all see the hashtag Save the Children rallies? I did not. #1 in Europe. So they get away with a lot more. So this was an award-winning film. Yeah, Europe has some weird strain, like especially in the American context, has very different standards for sex. Like it's very different there. I also says because Korean artists pretty much work on all cartoons and anime, LOL manga, and manhwa. In fact, The Simpsons is produced in Korea, but Japanese cheap anime as well. In fact, it's pretty much a shared art pop culture. That's true. A lot of American programs are made in Korea, like SpongeBob. Like rainbows were rainbows before the LGBT movement, the word cuties is about people who are cute. Yeah. But this, okay, Cuties has a 1.3 out of 10 on IMDb, rightfully so, but it has an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did the show even come out yet?
Well, that's among critics. The audience score is 5%. I mean, this is available in the foreign lands, and you could probably, like, fucking bootleg it here, but...
Use that VPN, but... Fuck. So the FBI would probably come down, they start seeing you VPN this shit, like, okay, what's on your computer? Show us that hard drive.
A Forbes article, controversy over Netflix cuties is totally ridiculous.
Of course, they'd love it.
Netflix cuties twerking poster drama explain. Okay, I actually have a question for people in chat and for you guys as well. Is twerking sexual?
Yes.
And why?
You're shaking your ass in a sexual manner. It's like, you know, you're doing like reverse cowgirl or some shit. You know, how's that not sexual?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind it on, you know, with like when of age women do it, they can do whatever. But you know,
It's like fucking grinding. Is grinding sexual? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I've just heard people say, like, they don't think twerking's that bad. I think it's weird.
It's like grinding, you know, it's a sexual move.
well,
Don't pretend it's not sexual.
Yeah, it is sexual.
well, Sean, you're probably like me. You probably prefer boobs, but you know, hey.
Well, even if you don't prefer it, like you can still say, like, oh, I don't mind twerking when it's done by adults, but it's still, you know, it's still sexual. You know, you can have sexual dance moves. You know, we've had that for a long time.
Look, and the tweet that blew this up has like 170,000 likes almost. And he says, this is fucking disgusting. Minors shouldn't be sexualized like this. And the follow-up is exactly what I was talking about. That probably really got him to change this shit. And the fact that this is a black girl lead makes this even worse.
Yep.
Yeah. That's exactly why Netflix realized they had to change this shit.
Well, they probably use the black girl lead as like a way to, you know, shield themselves from criticism.
Yeah, black and Muslim. And then Merriam-Webster defines twerking as sexually suggestive dancing characterized by rapid, repeated hip thrusts and shaking of the buttocks,
Well,
especially
you know what
while
else
squatting.
involves rapid hip thrusts?
Yeah. Yes.
Donnie said, yes, it is. Twerking has been normalized. What about belly dancing? You know that. Yeah, that's still sexualized. I won't want to see like a 5-year-old girl or boy or anything. It's like belly dancing. That's just inappropriate. You know, there's a time and place for everything, and that time and place is when you're fucking 18 years old. You know?
Yeah.
But what else were we going to talk about
Bannon.
tonight? Bannon, yeah. So Bannon.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna message you guys about that earlier this week.
Yeah, Bannon, Steve Bannon, former White House strategist and former head of Breitbart News, was arrested the other day over
Sloppy
fraud.
Steve.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Trump's nickname for Uncle Steve, Sloppy Steve. This is really fitting that picture. Now, I mean, Bannon is saying it's a hit job. He's saying it's trying to stop people that want to build the wall. This was a charity. For more context, Bannon was involved with this charity for a private group to build the wall on the border. And a bunch of people were sort of involved with it in the MAGA sphere, and I'd heard about it for quite a long time. That's been a thing for a while. I remember when Bannon was even down there doing like his show from there, and there are a lot of people that donate to it, and it raised like millions of dollars. I think it was like 25 million. And apparently Bannon was pocketing all the money, using it for, fancy shit, for nice shit. Apparently, I mean, it might have even gone towards yacht, which I don't know if he owns that, but I don't know what to think of this. I, on the one hand, would not be surprised if he did do this, but on the other, I would not be surprised if this is just a politically motivated attack. And both can still be true. He may have done this. The opposition may have known about this for a long time, but they were waiting for the right time to strike and to get him for this. That's my take.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. Like, if what everything's being alleged is true, like that, I would definitely lost some respect. Because honestly, I do think Bannon he's a very smart person, like strategist. I'd hope he wouldn't do something like this, but and that's true too. What Mia Carla is saying, the person who how much of this actually is Bannon's doing versus the person who's running that fundraiser. But if
they charged 3 people. They charged Bannon, the guy running it, and another guy. I forget. I'm gonna try and find a good article on it. But it's he had some deep ties to this, and it doesn't look good for him. I think the fact that they arrested him, the post office sent fucking agents to arrest him.
See, this is where our post office money's going. They're complaining the post office is going to be defunded. Trump's doing this, and they're setting out armed guards to go and arrest Bannon. You probably could have just sent him a fucking warrant. I don't think he'd be the type. He's famous enough where I think he probably would have fucking just went with him. I don't think he would have went in hiding. He's too famous for that. But if it's true, I'd be very sad about that because I do like Bannon. He's an interesting figure. I think he had a lot to do with the initial success of the Trump campaign. In 2016, he did a lot of that sort of grassroots stuff. But if he was caught doing this, he deserves to face justice if he was defrauding people.
Says, as alleged, defendants, plural, defraud hundreds of thousands of donors, capitalizing on their interest in funding a border wall to raise millions of dollars under the false pretense that all that money would be spent on construction. So Bannon was arrested on a 152-foot yacht off of Westbrook, Connecticut. Also named in the indictment is Brian Kolfage, founder and president of We Build the Wall, Andrew Badabalato, and Timothy Shea. Kolfage is an Air Force veteran who lost both his legs while in deployment of Iraq. According to the indictment, the 4 men allegedly used sham invoices and accounts to cover their scheme, while repeatedly assuring donors that Brian Kolfage, the founder and public face of the We Build the Wall, would not be paid a cent. The defense secretly schemed to pass hundreds of thousands of dollars to Kolfage, which he used to fund his lavish lifestyle. Bannon, who publicly referred to We Build the Wall as a volunteer organization, is alleged to have received more than $1 million from the organization via a non-profit he controls, and at least some of it was used to cover hundreds of thousands of dollars in his personal expenses.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this being a hit job too. I don't know, the full extent of this, and only time will tell what the court proceedings show. But I hope.
Yeah, I want to see some documents. Cause look, I could see him doing this because I know there are a lot of people in the right wing that see him as a traitor, especially after what he said about Don Jr. and the other shit that he's supposedly done. I I'm very iffy on Bannon. I want to like him, but when I hear this stuff, just kills it. And it sounds like I mean, like, it could look, he could have done this, but they could have waited till now and really hit him with massive charges and massive jail time that he really may or may not deserve. So
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering what all his involvement is with that, because, like, like, what sort of expenses are we talking about with him? Was he really moving money around places? But we're definitely going to have to see. But I don't think this will really look bad on Trump, because Trump
he
this
fired
is
him.
yeah, he fired him. He distances himself from Bannon, so you can't really blame for that. And when Trump did have there, I think he did. I think he did do a pretty good job, like in the initial, like when he was before, like for the campaign for Trump to get there. I think he did a very good job. After Trump got elected, I don't, I'm not so sure about that. But I think during
Yeah.
his initial run for that, I don't think you could have done too much better.
Yeah. I thought he was amazing during the campaign, and then he just, I don't know. I don't get the guy. Because that's really, look, if he did this, it's really, really stupid. I mean, he should, if he watched his money, be set from his gig at Goldman Sachs. But even then, he knows people. He gets around. I mean, if he did this, that's just really, really stupid.
Yeah, that's why I personally, I'm gonna wait to cast my judgment until this sort of thing plays out. Especially after like a George Floyd thing too. It's like, you see this one little thing. It's like, oh, he's this person's in the wrong, but then you're like, oh, maybe this isn't as maybe this is more nuanced than I originally thought. And I feel like that might be what's going on over here.
Wasn't he also a naval intelligence officer too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, like that's the other thing is, it seems to me like someone who is a naval intelligence officer would be a bit smarter than to do something like this. So,
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, I mean it's kind of gonna have to see how those everything kind of flies.
Did y'all cover Tucker? Oh, what did Tucker say and do? What controversy is Tucker Carlson now? Candace not speaking at the convention? That's very interesting. Because Candace, ever since she, went independent and married her husband, she's been a bit edgier on her Twitter, I've noticed. Saying things that she wouldn't say before.
yeah, I'm not so sure I like Candace as much now.
Well, did you hear what Gavin said recently about her?
I did. That was,
Yeah.
but for the audience, you might want to give context since they might not be subbed.
Yeah. So Gavin McGinnis, on his Censor.tv had this show. I forget what it was called exactly. I'll look it up on Censor.tv. It was basically a show that was supposed to be this very relaxed, laid back conversation between two people with on the opposite sides of the political spectrum. So he would get somebody far left, somebody far right. They'd come together and talk about things.
Yeah, it was basically his version of the Joe Rogan experience, basically.
Kind of, yeah. It was.
Well, Joe Rogan usually just has one person on at a time, I think.
Yeah, this
Or
is
I
a bit
get,
different.
well, more like firing line than I guess. So.
Yeah, so he had Colonel West with Candace Owens, which is a very interesting combination. They sat at a bar and they talked, and they filmed it, and it was, I presume it was probably a really interesting conversation. I did not get to see it yet, but Gavin said though that when he booked Candace to do this, she was asking. Now, I'm gonna give you a little more context. Candace was friends with Gavin, and Gavin was friends with her when she was in her early days. Paul Joseph Watson and Gavin McGinnis specifically both kind of gave her big shouts, I guess you could say. They helped build her to what she is today. They were one of the few people that noticed her quickly early on and shared her shit out there. When Gavin did the sit down with Colonel West and Candace was asking for more than $20,000 to do this.
Yeah, see, she's hanging around with too much of those Ben Shapiro types, I think.
$20,000 for a appearance in I think it's only like an hour long video. That's insane. To a friend, to somebody to help build you up, that is insane. I'm sorry. And he said, like, he was writing her the check, and he's like, I don't know you anymore. Like, you're in another stratosphere now.
And even Ryan, even Ryan Rivera, who's pretty, who usually kind of like tries to defend, some of the guests, was kind of like, yeah, he was in agreement with Gavin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's gone too big for her britches.
Well, and that's something that Apex and I talk a lot about on the Whitfield report is, at what point do you go from becoming like a conservative, like actual activist, to just becoming a grifter that's in it for the money? So,
I think it's when, if you're in this just for the money, you're a grifter. If you're in it because you're passionate about it, you believe in something, you want to fight for it, and you like some money, that's perfectly normal. Oh my god, this is great. I'm looking in their store because I've seen their shit before, but they add new t-shirts. This one is fantastic. I am actually like seriously considering buying this. I'll post it in chat. Look at this.
Clown World one? Oh, get off my lawn.
Yeah, but look what it is.
you need to buy yourself a subscription, boyo. That's what you need.
I plan to once I have some more money. I'm definitely gonna subscribe. But see who it is.
Let me get back to.
He's one on the right.
That's Ryan. That's Gavin's right hand man. But look who they're parodying.
Yeah, I know who they're parodying.
Yes. That's badass.
Yeah, I miss that, like, what was that, like Western Outpost or whatever.
Yeah, dude, they got like shut down or something.
Yeah, I used to love their fucking shirts. Like, man, they kept getting shut down, but they had some good shit. But, like, the Chinese, they can keep doing the same shit. Like, they literally have scrapers that will go and pull up any, like, Google image or, like, Twitter post from artists. And they'll sell, like, instantly generated content. That's okay because, it's Chinese and, you gotta suck Xi Jinping's ding dong to your stuff. Get your China money. But, if someone on the right does that, that's not good.
Oh, did they not have the... Oh, that's right. Milo's stuff is in a different section, I think.
Donnie the Don asked, has she endorsed Trump?
Let me see. Who?
I believe Candace.
Oh, well, yeah. Candace is completely behind Trump, and so is LOOMER. And those are the people we've mentioned tonight.
But Donnie, I mean, at this point, Candace has to do more than just endorse Trump to impress me.
Yeah, she's gotta figure her shit out.
She has to figure out her loyalty. So
It's that almighty dollar. I think that's what I'm seeing, you know. Maybe she was into it at the beginning, but like now it just seems, I don't know.
well,
What's
I mean,
point, you know, that's all you give a shit about. You know, you
I
want
mean,
1,000
I
here.
I hate to bring up this example once again, but Owen went from you know, the moderately conservative like traditional right wing spirit to the alt right to the fucking flat earth, fake moon landing crowd because of the money. So he's basically dips his big fat grubby paws into every money trough he can find.
Well,
So
with him, I think he probably just had some sort of mental breakdown.
oh
Like just
oh
looking at what happened. Like maybe he had schizophrenia or something. I'm not a doctor. I can't make diagnoses, but
oh sure, perhaps that's the case, but so there are celebrities who love to profit off their mental breakdowns as well. So
yeah, it's that celeb world. Like once you get into the big leagues, you really know who your friends are and where your loyalties lie.
Yep.
that's the impressive thing with Kanye is like he
Well,
was he
there's
was
wrong with him. I don't know what,
well
but he's got something going on.
well I mean Kanye I think kind of had like a reverse thing happen though.
Do you see that in the White House? Like when he met Trump, he started just like cursing and going off on like his bipolar medication.
I
Like,
thought it
come
was
on,
funny.
it was funny, but like this, is, he needs. There's something not right with that man.
Yeah, I mean
Also, quickly for somebody in the chat that says the right needs to have its own, the convention should have its own arena for younger GOP and people who walk away on bro who aren't 100% conservative. There's kind of that for younger people, like at CPAC they had those after parties, but you're not gonna find that sort of stuff at these party things, like these GOP party events and stuff, because it's run by a bunch of boomers that don't understand young people, boomer elitists that are in their own little world.
it's also Steve Hack though too, so
Yeah, but CPAC, GOP convention, they're all run by the RNC, which is the RNC.
Yeah,
mhm.
some crazy stuff. But in other news, you hear what's going on with that Leafy drama?
Leafy has been banned from YouTube.
I'm a boomer when it comes to this type of shit. So
He's he was a YouTuber, and I believe he was kicked off because he criticized he and half the videos weren't even like talking. They like have these clickbait thumbnails about Pokimane, who's a
oh
Twitch streamer who, and like the whole thing was like he said, you know, she has a boyfriend, and people started flipping out because they were, you know, some of these people, some of her supporters, they
They are white
simps.
knights.
yeah, they're simps. You know, they picture themselves. Oh, you know, she can't have a boyfriend. You know, it's be saving herself for me, who's never gonna fucking talk to her. It's like that Belle Delphine person, but at least Belle Delphine, like she plays into the fucking meme. Like Pokimane pretends she doesn't do it, and then Pokimane's just a terrible person too, in my opinion. You know, because she has gotten YouTubers and like had their videos removed from YouTube, demonetized, stuff like that, because she didn't like they'd criticize her, you know. And then you see this happen. Then I think it was Ethan or H3H3, whoever the fuck he is. He like starts gloating as soon as he gets kicked off because he's been saying that the whole time. Like, Leafy can't survive in this environment. That's the whole reason he even started using like YouTube again too. It's because like fucking I think it was all because Ethan or whatever or H3H3 or whatever the fuck his name is. He was like he said that about Leafy once and he got all pissed off. And Leafy, he's a YouTuber. He was one of probably at one point in time he's probably the biggest like commentary YouTubers on the platform. He came back, but that only lasted about 90 days because now he's apparently banned. He goes on to Keemstar's. Like he called into Keemstar after he got banned.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that video because like apparently YouTube didn't even really notify him. Like the first notification he got is when like Keemstar sent him a text, which is pretty interesting. But I don't know, I always liked him. He's an interesting character. He's got a lot of interesting sort of thoughts. You know, like half the videos that had like Pokemon in the title weren't even about Pokemon. It was about like stock trading and like how I used to run this like Minecraft server, and apparently there was some really crazy shit going on with that. Like being a Minecraft like server owner back in the day, like people getting like hacked and like DDoSed and like all sorts of other shit. Incredibly interesting, and honestly, like YouTube, the way they did it, they didn't even give him a strike. They just took it was here one day, no strikes, and then just got on the next.
That's what happened with Apex's first channel.
Like, see, that scares me because I feel like if they're gonna do that, you know, they should at least, if you have a strike system, you should use it and don't just go and like one day throw like, you know, just say, hey, you've had 3 videos that violated the strike policy, you're done. Like, I feel that, you know, if they have that happen, if you get one community guideline strike, you should, you know, have your stuff put on, like you'd have all your videos taken down, or like not taken down, but like you get a message, hey, if you want to go and upload to YouTube again, you have to go and make sure your videos don't have this content so that you can at least remove it. But like what they did is they basically bypassed their own system, and I don't like that. That scares me. And I know, and I knew it was going to happen with Leafy. You know, he's an edgy YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
If you were not like a fucking makeup tutorial YouTuber, or like, I don't know.
Well, we even said like, I'm shocked he's been on this long and is still on YouTube. He started putting content up, and he got it.
Yeah, because the thing is, before then, like they had messages from YouTube. Like the higher ups over there were saying that like they were going to remove, like they didn't like him and they wanted to find ways to like lower his reach because they didn't like his content.
I'm also oh god, he's tweeting about her. Oh my god. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Oh, his also his backup channel, his second channel was banned as well.
Of course.
Pokimane is a clout chaser.
She fucking is.
Yeah.
Not wrong, and like the thing is, you know, she's not some like little YouTuber or anything. She is like Pokimane's like this huge like thousands and thousands of like Twitch concurrent views and stuff. Like she's one of the biggest Twitch streamers out there right now. And if you can say that like Leafy's violating terms of service for targeted harassment because of that, how can you say that? Like, how can you allow every like late night talk show personality, like how can you allow John Oliver to go and keep spouting his shit on YouTube, and then he just harasses Donald Trump because that's what he does. That's what all these late night comics does. You know, at what point are you allowed to go and like at what point is someone considered a public figure? I'd say when you're one of the largest figures on Twitch, you're a fucking public figure. You know, how come other people can go and bitch about Trump? How's that not targeted harassment? YouTube, you need to go and clarify your shit because that's not fair. You know, if that's the case, you know, everyone on here should just go and start reporting all the late night comics who just bitch about Trump because frankly, that's targeted harassment. I'm tired of seeing that shit. And You know, they need their, and I know YouTube won't do it because that's, you know, that's what YouTube's turning into. It's turning into clips from fucking Comedy Central and, you know, ABC and NBC and all these other stupid fucking channels. But that's who gets the fucking money for them.
Two things. One, Leafy tweeted out the other day on August 11th, racism made anime cool again. And then on August 9th, he tweets out a picture from an article. It says, Pokimane mod reveals boyfriend is a banned word in her Twitch chat.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of reasons I could see as to why.
Like, he is, like, see, they get rid of all these fucking, like, trolls and stuff, and, like, he didn't even need to do it now. Like, he had enough money. Like, he does stock trading. He made a shit ton of money when he was, like, back before then, because he was on YouTube when you could actually make a living off of YouTube without needing, like, Patreon and all these other fucking, and, like, you know, like, special stuff for your fucking channel. He was, like, an OG fucking YouTuber, and, you know, he made enough money off there. He probably doesn't need to work a day in his life.
He said Pokimane has a boyfriend. Oh my god! And then she banned the word boyfriend.
Yeah, like, see, that shows how toxic her fucking fan base is. Because I can tell you what happened. Probably one of like Ethan's fans, like, just mass reported her videos. Probably her fans, honestly. Some beta male like went on there. It's like, oh, you know, this is, you can't say it's about Pokimane. You know, she's this, like, little delicate flower. She can't take any criticism. You know,
Pokimane's losing Twitch subs because of the boyfriend drama. I think
Yeah,
they're all mad at her because they found she has a boyfriend when they thought she didn't, which she obviously does. I mean, look at her. She's hot as shit. She's gonna have a boyfriend, and so they're all flipping out her like, "Oh, you have a boyfriend," because they want to be that.
she's not even that hot. She's okay.
Her personality kills it. Let me put it that way. She had a great personality. It'd be like,
she just goes on.
No, I know she doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, if she did, she'd be like solid, but she doesn't have it, so it kills it.
She's all right, but, like, the thing is, the people who are probably the tier 3 subs are probably the people who, you know, they live in their parents' basement. They drink, like, fucking Mountain Dew and eat chicken tenders and piss in a piss jug while, like, masturbating to Pokimane streams. Like, let's be real, that's probably her tier 3 or whatever, her, like, super subs on there. And that these people, they get upset
They're
the fact
now.
Their wife who has a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, like, I mean, she probably does, but, like, we don't even know. We don't even have any fucking proof, and they get so pissed about that they will unsub from her. You know, like, she needs to go and confront the fact that her fan base is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of doing that, she just goes after Leafy for pointing out the fucking obvious.
They claim to expose her for having a secret relationship. Oh my god.
Dude, like, see, like, she probably has the most cringiest fans out there, and I must feel sorry. Like, if you're an attractive woman and you're, like, a streamer, you know, you probably have to deal with, like, she's probably not the only one that has to deal with this, like, waifu syndrome thing where if you even mention that you have a boyfriend or something, you'll get unsub because, you know, you have these male subscribers who subscribe to a fantasy that they have a chance of getting with you, when in all reality, like, these people are probably fucking neckbeards who go and, like, you know, do their thing and watch your streams at the same time. You know, that it's a sad existence.
Yeah, and I think YouTube's gonna pull the same excuse that other tech companies have pulled, is that they're gonna say they deleted his channel for targeted harassment, because I bet these fans got into, like, a beef with each other. But apparently his video was going viral about, like, her having, like, a secret relationship. I never heard about this. I mean, I've been super busy with shit, so... Oh, that was back in This was back in July?
Well, he keeps making he made, like, a bunch of videos, but most of them, it had, like, a clickbait thumbnail, but had, like, nothing to do with fucking Pokemon. It was about him, like, dealing with stocks or just bullshitting about something completely random. It
Or
was
it'd be
like,
just like clips. Like he wouldn't even say anything.
yeah, like that's what he was doing. Like he'd have these thumbnails that had very little to do with the actual videos, like Pokimane Epic Meltdown, like nuclear war or something. That's like him talking about like stocks and like Minecraft. Like that's how he would do it. Like he's a fucking troll. But like, and if you're gonna say that he's doing targeted harassment, I want every single like anti-Trump channel. I want the Lincoln Project's channel down because they're targeted harassment. Why is the Lincoln the Lincoln loggers or whatever the fuck their name is? Why are they allowed to do their shit about the president?
Yep, I was right. It says Leafy was banned from YouTube because his channel had multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy prohibiting content designed to harass, bully, or threaten.
He did not threaten, harassment, sure, but at what point are you allowed to go like no, and then if you did see him do that, you give him a fucking strike.
Yeah, that's the thing. They always jump to a ban when it should just be a strike.
Oh, they've had it out for him from the fucking get-go.
Oh, yeah. I am shocked he even made this far. I am genuinely shocked.
Like, and they're complete hypocrites because they allow targeted harassment of other public figures, but, do they not consider Pokimane to be a public figure? I mean, she fucking is. Like, every, like, drama, like, commentary channel talks about that person. It's not just Leafy. Like I see shit from like Scarce and like fucking some ordinary gamers and a bunch of other people talking about this Pokimane person.
Maya says it seems like YouTube was probably flooded with complaints, so they had reason. Not really.
Subs who got pissed that Leafy suggested she might have a romantic relationship. That's probably like honestly that's probably true. That's probably what happened. He probably had a bunch of her like subs just mass spam. This is bad. This is bad. YouTube's like, oh, okay, well, I see targeted harassment. But they're so vague with their terms of service too. Like, come on, YouTube. You need to give an example. Like, okay, are we allowed to go and have commentary about public figures, or are we not? Pick.
And to that point, I do want to point out because people keep asking why Joe Rogan went to Spotify. And, part of it is the money, yes. But part of it too is because Spotify actually, like, has standards regarding that content and stuff. Like, so for instance, when I got mass flagged by SJWs, they tried to report my podcast to to Spotify, who owns Anchor, and Spotify was basically like, yeah, we need an actual example of harassment or hate speech, and they couldn't find any. So so my podcast didn't get banned from there, whereas like YouTube just flips out because of peer pressure. So, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make that point that I think there is a difference between, companies in that sense.
Yeah,
I wonder if Censor.tv will pick him up.
I don't even know if he would really want to though. Like he wasn't doing this because of money.
Well, I know, but that would keep him safe though, and that would be a big. I bet Censor.tv could get a lot of subscribers. Now I know Leafy isn't exactly political, but it would fit the theme. Censored.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope that they'd reach out to him, but like, I just don't think. I feel like Leafy's part is gonna be like, okay, fuck it, I'm done. See you guys.
Or he goes on D Live.
I don't know. Like, I just think he did it for like. I don't know how much. I don't know how much he really cares about, to be honest. Like, he seems like the type that maybe he will go and join Censor.tv or D Live or something, but maybe he just goes back to living his life because he seemed like he did that for a good long time pretty well. He was kind of there for YouTube, and YouTube just wasn't there for him for a long time. Like unless there's enough of a backlash against YouTube, and then like they basically have their hand forced, which it would take a lot to do that.
Yeah. Oh, he had a controversy with Tommy NC 2010. What is this? He talked about an autistic YouTuber, Tommy NC 2010. Later that day, Tommy NC 2010 uploaded a video. And the Leafy's video was titled "The Most Heroic Fedora Man on YouTube."
Yeah, like this guy. It's like, come on, dude. Like it was funny. Like I don't think you should have got that much hate for it. You know, the guy didn't even say he was autistic, so how do you even really know he is?
Later that day, Tommy uploaded a video titled "I'm Getting Death Threats. Leafy is here. Why?" in which Tommy, upset, recorded himself crying, explaining how he was getting a lot of hate and death threats from Calvin's fans. That's his real name, Calvin, which caused H3H3 to make a video about the situation, which is now unlisted. Of course, H3H3 would. After Calvin was receiving backlash from H3H3's rant video, he soon took down the video and uploaded an apology video titled Apology. However, H3H3's former rant about Calvin received over 1 million views. Calvin made a response video, which is now unlisted, saying that Ethan Klein tried to side with Calvin, where he showed several text messages from H3H3 talking negatively about the YouTuber Pyrocynical. Pyrocynical eventually made 2 videos addressing the situation later, which titled "Let's Call It Quits." Jesus Christ. Keemstar feud. Aren't he and Keem like buddies now? Like,
Ooh, like oh yeah, like Leafy and Keem, yeah, they are. Like he explained all that stuff too. Like he just did it for shits. Like half that YouTube drama was just fucking drama for drama's sake. It's drama sells. Like he even admitted that. Like, at least he's honest with that shit.
yeah, that's true. Interesting.
On other subjects, have any of you guys seen any of the Sean, I know you're into movies a bit, so have you seen any of the DC fandom
I heard
stuff?
about that today. I didn't look into it. All I saw was there was bits of Robert Pattinson as Batman, which I don't know why we're making another Batman.
I thought so too until I saw the trailer. So
Is it good?
it's I mean if YouTube weren't a bunch of pricks when it came to showing video, I'd say to pull the thing up right now. It's I will tell you, I'm a big fan of film noir, and this definitely has a film noir vibe to it.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
and then Wonder Woman. I'm a fan of Gal Gadot, so I don't think I need to
Yeah, the
make much
first
more
trailer for that
explanation.
new one was really good from a few months ago.
And then it's Zack Snyder. Now, from what I've heard, Zack Snyder is kind of based um, from some people I know, which kind of explains a few things. But so yeah, the new Justice League the new Justice League movie slash series, whatever HBO is doing, that looks good. So, but oh, and apparently Star Wars fans are finally starting to push back against the SJWs. So,
Oh, really? What's happening with that?
well, apparently, from what I've heard, there are rumors that Kathleen Kennedy is going to get fired.
Good.
So,
I've heard those rumors for a long time, though.
yeah, I'm hoping they follow through with that because we do not need a forces female type
Oh,
thing. That
God.
is I kind of lost interest in Star Wars once. Although I did like The Mandalorian,
The
but
Mandalorian is literally the only good thing other than the Clone Wars revival, which was already something that had been done before, like, so they just brought the old crew back.
there's a there's a there's a hilarious meme running on the internet, and that you've probably seen it, but it's a caption of what it's something like, so it's like, so Kathleen Kennedy thought that this was what women wanted in Star Wars. It showed a picture of Rey. Um, and then and the next panel turns out they just want strong men and babies. So,
Like literally.
so yeah, I mean every Baby Yoda comment every Baby Yoda comment on social media was from a woman saying I want one. So, but
Apparently, a Mandalorian season 2 trailer is supposed to drop soon.
I think it's supposed to drop either like later today or like later this week. So,
Usually trailers don't get dropped on Sunday, so I would think it would be later.
uh,
Wait, isn't Matt Reeves the guy who did the Planet of the Apes films?
yeah. So is that good or bad? Because I haven't seen them. So.
They were better than I actually expected them to be. Like they're pretty well done for a remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. So I think it'll be interesting. I just don't like the idea of we have to keep redoing Batman like this quickly. I can understand maybe like
Yeah.
10 years down the road, but like right now, like, well, the Nolan trailer was, or Nolan movies are, I guess, almost 10 years. The third one came out in 2012, I believe.
Yeah, I was when that movie came out, I was going into my senior year of high school. So, the fact that the fact that the Dark Knight turned 10 years old a few years ago, that made me feel kind of old. So,
Yeah.
like,
Well, apparently Inception turned 10 years old. Now they're showing it in theaters again. I don't know if I'll be able to see. I really want to because I would like to see that in the theater because I didn't get to see it when it originally came out in theaters. But they're playing that in theaters now, and Empire Strikes Back, which is really cool.
I would want to see Empire, and well, let me put it this way. I would want to see the original theatrical release of Empire. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna try and see it, but it's like very limited. They're only showing it
not
like next week.
not the stupid re-release.
I think the re-releases are fine, except for a few little things I didn't like. Like when the Darth Vader, where I know a lot of people bitch about, where it goes no, in Return of Jedi. I think that is the only change I really just didn't like. Everything else I am perfectly fine with, except that.
Yeah, I mean, but there was also some stuff where it's like, why do you need to change it? So,
Well, I can understand from a creator's perspective when you can't fully have your vision because of technological limitations, and now you can. You would do it.
yeah, fair enough. So,
Yeah. But is there anything else we want to talk about before we close out? Because it's getting late. I know.
Think of anything?
Yeah, we talked about Loomer, Ban, Millie. Oh, we didn't talk about Penn State or the DNC. The DNC was boring, cringy. It was just so bad. Penn State.
Oh yeah,
I didn't
right.
I didn't even watch the DNC, to
Me
be
neither.
honest.
Yeah.
I played a couple clips with Apex, and then we were like, well, we didn't miss anything. So, I am curious to see what happens with the RNC. Any predictions from you guys?
I don't think there's gonna be any surprises, but it's gonna be pretty packed. Hope people energize the base some more, get people excited.
Mia says, well, Yoda doesn't poo and he does his own dishes with his mind. Perfect baby. That's a good point. So,
He doesn't shit. Is that like a special force power?
um, yeah. Well, apparently there's a so Mia also says I won't be watching any of the Patterson crap, or I'm a comic and cartoon universe fan, so to me the movies will never do it. Yeah, I mean I'm a kid in the 90s too, so I'm kind of the same way, but I don't know.
I'm seeing bits
I,
of the trailer on Twitter, and it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna have to actually watch it. I mean, Patterson though, look, I think he got his image ruined from those Twilight movies. I mean, it made him famous, but it gave off the wrong, I guess, say impression, because I see him as somebody that has a lot of potential. I mean, he's in the new Nolan film, which got fairly well received. I mean, I think he's actually got a lot of potential.
I've seen him in other stuff, and like he can act, like if he has a good script. But yeah, I mean, Twilight was just horrible. I always tell people, if you want a good vampire movie, well, let me put a disclaimer out there. If you're like 17 or above, a good vampire movie to watch is Bordello Bordello Blood. So
Hmm.
it's a cult classic, but I like it. So
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's been having a hell of a comeback though, like recently. He's in this Batman movie, Tenet, like hell of a comeback right now, like
well,
into
well,
things.
he is still not the comeback king as much as Keanu.
Oh,
So
Keanu's just been killing it. I mean, John Wick, the Cyberpunk video game, like my God, like Keanu honestly is one of my favorite working actors, and not for the reasons you would think. Like some of my favorites are because of like all the amazing shit they're in and what they do and how they act. And it's like Keanu just is just totally cool, picks really good projects, and just seems to have fun. Like, you know what I mean? He's like different for like he's favorite for very different reasons.
yeah, I like him, and everyone I've talked to who has actually met him said he's a really down to earth guy, which
Yeah.
like if I ever do make it, Apex and I were talking about this, and I mean if you or I or any of us ever make it big, like that's the type of public figure I would hope to be
Yeah.
more like as Keanu Reeves. So I mean I already have a lot of this stuff materialistically that I want. I'm blessed that way, thankfully. So you know
Is this
I don't need.
Batman movie gonna be R-rated?
I don't know, but there are rumors that it might be, which I'm kind of hoping for.
I
So
think if there's one, it's kind of like what they did with Joker. If there's one way to make this different and interesting, it's to do that.
yeah, well, I mean, I definitely have some like old Batman comics from like the late '80s that like would definitely get like an R-rated move. That would definitely get like a that would definitely get an R-rated rating. So Donnie says I love Batman and I'm not interested. Well, I mean, it is a teaser, so you're gonna get bombarded with it, eventually. So
Yeah, it'll be a big, big movie. Let's see. I'm trying to find out about the rating, but I'm not seeing much about it.
I did watch. I have started watching the new Perry Mason series.
How's
So
that?
um, I I actually really like it. It has the guy from The Americans in it, and
Oh,
I was
Matthew Reese.
yeah, who I didn't know this, but he's British. He's
Oh,
one
he's
of
very
those.
British. Yeah.
He's one of those. He's like Damon Lewis. He's one of those guys that can do like a perfect American accent and then totally mind fuck you
Yeah.
when you hear him. So
Mm-hmm.
um so
Interesting. Well, we're gonna close it out for tonight. Oh man, it's been a crazy wild week, but thank you guys for joining us in chat. Thank you for all for tuning in. And please like, share, subscribe, do all that great stuff to keep the channel growing so that we can all build our conservative resistance to the YouTube censorship and oppression. And if you haven't yet, follow Donnie on Facebook and Twitter. Follow Sam on Facebook and Twitter. Oh, and YouTube, of course. Those both are on YouTube. If you look up them, you will find them. They can drop their handles in the chat if they want. I think they're both in the video description. But follow those guys. Subscribe to them. Like them. Do all that good stuff. They deserve a lot of support as well.
thank you guys, and wow, you've made it to 262 already. Not bad.
Oh, shit. Yeah, good having you on tonight. Yeah, and same for Gamma and Phil and Donnie in the chat. It's always good talking to you too.
So and I will be on Donnie's show soon too, folks. We're just trying to figure out when. So stay tuned for that. So but alrighty guys. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yep. Thank you guys. And as always, wash your hands.